What's up, homie?
Hello, hello.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Alrighty, what's the first topic gonna be?
Well, we should probably introduce ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. This is John. We're all brothers.
You know,
Caleb?
ourselves mean we introduce ourselves.
That's fair.
So why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Caleb. My voice cracked. Name's Caleb.
John.
I'm Nathan.
And we're here to talk about Star Wars, if you couldn't tell about the background. And the name. Pod Racer Episode 4.
We're going the Star Wars Legends way. Oh, not Legends, the freaking
Traditional way.
traditional way.
Typical.
Traditional Star Wars.
Heck yeah.
Starting at Episode 4. All right. Let's see.
But that's okay. I have this, just in case.
What's up?
So, hence, this is why we get together before going live, Caleb, from now on. Anyways, introduction, please.
This is MovizsarStudios' first live stream. Face reveal of the animator.
Editor, also sound maker, and poster.
The guy pretty much does everything. We just support him. And
bigger fans. I supported most of the most of the figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the one that
Spent $2,000 on all of those.
pretty much, and I spent on the lights, equipment, and all the other stuff, including AliExpress figures. I think you bought a few, didn't you?
I've never bought an AliExpress
Okay,
figure.
well, no, that I guess that part was me. Mother also jumped in as well.
Yeah.
So
So pretty much stop motion is hard to do, long processes, and so we want to branch out content so that way we can post more and do more instead of a video once every 2 months. But that's all
giving
on-
me a little break.
exactly. That's all on John. So now the point is just to talk Star Wars and have fun and just reignite some love for our childhood, I guess.
Yeah, so what other way to segue into this of giving our love to Star Wars to ranking Star Wars based on our own opinions, getting into some heated arguments on like what we think of certain ones.
Ooh.
We'll try to argue about it, but we all grew up in the same household. So I think
I
the list
have
is
some
gonna be the same.
opinions that you guys
Look,
don't. That you guys
Exactly.
don't like.
Caleb's favorite movie is The Last Jedi.
Excuse me.
Ah,
No.
it's you.
No,
Oh,
no, no.
Oh,
When
God.
Luke tossed
my
that lightsaber over his back, Caleb was like, absolutely, this is it. Disney saved Star Wars.
My favorite is the Phantom Menace. Unpopular opinion. That's just me.
That's
Love
a terrible
politics.
opinion.
I love politics, and that's just.
Well, my favorite is Attack of the Clones, where the clones were first introduced.
How about yours, Nathan? What's yours?
Well, mine would have to be Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah,
Where all the clones turn on the Jedi. I see how you are.
that's a very popular opinion because
Very
that's,
first
quote,
Star
unquote, the
Wars
best
film
sequel
I have
movie- or
ever
prequel
witnessed.
movie.
It was the very first Star Wars film I've ever witnessed, and it was awesome to watch at a really young age, the ripe young age of 7 years old, watch Yoda decapitate two people right behind him.
Hey, he
I
also
was hooked.
that was actually the first lightsaber throw live action too. Yoda throwing his lightsaber.
No easier way to do it than CGI, baby.
Absolutely, and I feel like that's
Exactly.
what carried Star Wars. You can't not have CGI.
No.
Disney, on the other hand, tried leading away from that. I'm sorry.
Stabbing does not do anything.
So, tell me, guys. I mean, how do we get into Star Wars? What sparked your interest in
feel like
Star
there
Wars?
was a
How'd you
big-
first see it?
I don't remember. I believe it was our dad that kind of just sat us down, and because he was a huge Star Wars nerd, had $500 worth of Star Wars stuff, and then just sold it for our mom.
which we were kind of upset.
Oh, when
with
I
that.
found out like what it was worth, oh, I was so mad.
Yeah, what is it worth today?
Today it would be
a
like
lot.
it would probably be about because he had some unboxed stuff too, and that stuff goes for thousands.
Yeah, I was
Because
gonna say
that stuff's vintage. They what's your opinion on them releasing vintage figures that aren't actually vintage? You know what I'm talking about?
describe what you mean by that.
So they'll have figures that just came out 2024. Sorry. They have figures that came out 2024 and they made it specifically to look vintage, but they're not vintage. They say, "Oh, hey, this is retro. This is retro Star Wars, and we're re-releasing them." I feel like that's like that takes away the value of authenticity of the actual vintage ones. Like you'll take it to a pawn shop and people will be like, "Well, we don't know when this is made." On the box, sure, but if you have them just somewhere like I feel like stick to the new stuff.
They are making vintage figures, but they aren't carbon copies of them. The real collectors of Star Wars are going to know what is what's true and what's not, and what's remade. I don't think it does anything if um, they could release as many toys as they want. I think we'll be just fine.
They can, but they also release as many shows as they want, and that's what's killing Star Wars. They revived it just to kind of throw it in the dirt a little bit.
Yeah, that's what
So
I don't like.
they're releasing episodes at like they're releasing figures just
At random,
constantly
yeah.
just constantly going random, doesn't matter, all over the place.
Yeah.
I want to know who collects those vintage things. Like if they actually have like really like retro thing, like retro figures, and then buy the new ones and just compare them.
Lots of Star Wars. Well, lots of Star Wars fans that are like brand new, basically that just got into Star Wars, possibly.
Yeah.
But they need to learn the backstory of how Star Wars was created, like Episode 4. A New Hope. Basically, like Leia, Han. Like you get to meet those guys.
I've lost a lot of respect for Disney when they've done that Leia chase. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to rip on Disney, but this stuff keeps coming up when you mention these like very
You talking about two
historical
grown men
figures.
chasing a 7-year-old and couldn't
Dude,
catch
we
like
were
some Tom and
expecting
Jerry stuff?
we were expecting the Darth Maul fight when Obi-Wan Kenobi, like how they did it in Rebels. We were expecting something like that, but then we get a younger Obi-Wan. Okay, this is kind of cool. We're gonna see the transition, how Qui-Gon Jinn talks to Obi-Wan, because they at the start of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series they did a recap of the last of episode 3, and at the very end it was Yoda saying, we're gonna have you meet your old master. And that doesn't happen until the very end of the season, and that's pretty much it. There was no progression for the character.
Everyone was begging for Qui-Gon to get there.
But that does answer a little question of how Leia knows of Obi-Wan. But I feel like that was just an unnecessary chase.
Especially like when Obi-Wan is trying to get into connection with Qui-Gon, but he's not there. But yet, like Qui-Gon's waiting for the right time.
There's some theories about that. There's theories that are saying that Qui-Gon didn't fully know how to become a Force ghost, because in the Clone Wars, when Yoda's talking to Qui-Gon, he's not in physical form because he doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
He said he doesn't quite know how to become in physical form.
That is true. Very true.
Anyways, now that we're talking about the films and like what we kind of don't like, I kind of want to get into ranking some Star Wars.
I think that's a fantastic idea, and I don't think there's any better way to do it than, do we do tier making? Do we do a tier list for this?
Right there.
Boom.
Right there. Yep, absolutely. Let me
maybe put us on the screen.
Yeah,
Here we are.
there we go.
Can you make us smaller?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right about there.
There we go.
Put
That's
that
better.
perfect.
Perfect.
All right, perfect. Let me go ahead and get to that really quick. All right.
I like how below F is just absolutely horrific, throwing up.
Oh yeah,
Hilarious.
100%.
If you're gonna whisper to each other, maybe mute your mic. Food for thoughter.
That's fair. It's okay. Let's look at the camera. All right.
Well, I think we should.
So let's start from the very beginning. I tried putting this in order as much as possible.
I
Some
think
I
this
got a
should
little
be done. If you don't mind me interrupting here, I think
Yeah.
it should be done because we all probably have different opinions. Hopefully, maybe not about these films. I think we name the film and then on like a
Well, why don't we
countdown.
start from release order? From
We can
4,
do
5,
that.
and 6.
I
1,
was just
2, 3.
saying. I was just saying we can give an immediate ranking from all three of us at the same time of where we think that movie should land.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and start with A New Hope. So we're gonna on 3. We're gonna go S, A, B, C, D, F, or throw up. So on 3, 1, 2, 3, B,
D.
C.
C. So we have C, B, and D. Nathan, you said B.
I said D
You
for
you said
Delta.
B.
No, I said C. You said B.
Yeah, you said
I
D.
said B. Okay.
Well,
I don't know.
He's like, I actually want to change it to D.
I'm actually thinking. I don't know why I said B. I'm thinking it's a C film.
I would actually change mine to C just to be more generous. Honestly, the reason I'm ranking it so low myself is when it comes to rewatching the films, as much
It's not the first one you want.
as much respect as I give to the original trilogy, I always grew up a prequel kid. And
100%.
when it comes to like today watching the original trilogy, it takes a lot of strength and willpower to sit
It's
down
like a
and
chore. It's
rewatch
like a
it.
chore to watch it instead of enjoying it. It just feels like a chore.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll go ahead since we simultaneously just agree with C. We're gonna put it at C.
Like we gotta realize that thing was released in the 70s, right? It's like
Absolutely.
as
If I
ahead
was
of
back
his
in the day when it first came out, no spoilers or anything, and I was my age now, 25, and I witnessed the film like around that time, I'd probably rank it higher. But since I grew in a generation, we grew up in a generation of CGI, and this
Yes.
lacks the CGI. It's like it doesn't really have that feel for us.
It really doesn't.
All right. So everyone comfortable with C?
I am extremely comfortable with C. As me, as a kind person, I am respecting
I
it.
feel like it's the
where it should
center.
be.
Like you have S, which is just God tier. So just out of that, A, B, C, D, F. I feel
and like
that's
straight up, they killed Ben Kenobi in this movie. The lamest lightsaber fight I've ever seen.
Look up that YouTube video of the remastered version.
I sit here.
If
I
only
sit
the
here and
guy-
wonder, like back in the day of the 70s,
There was
how
no high
like
ground.
how excited people must have gotten watching Ben Kenobi light his lightsaber
I
and
think
hit it twice
I
against
think Dad
Vader's and
got
then
excited.
die.
And
That
just
mu-
decides to have Vader kill him.
I mean, I'm just trying to think about what was released in the 70s that made people want to get another episode 5.
Then again, if you think about it, I feel like Star Wars, even the 4, like episode 4, is way more like action packed than Star Trek. I can never get into Star Trek. It's just too slow for me. Not like I feel like Star Wars has ruined not ruined, but taken over my heart comparing to all the other space things going on, that I just like Star Wars has to be first. Like everything that comes like that I'm starting to watch is I compare it to Star Wars, and Star Wars is more diverse and just way more action packed. Even though it's like, with A New Hope, it's still like Star Wars.
Yes.
You have laser swords, lightsabers,
blasters,
absolutely,
soldiers,
100% cantinas. It's just all these worlds. It's awesome. Nothing can really compare to that.
It's a dopamine world.
Anyway,
so I think we're all in agreement. I think it's a little bit worse than C, but I think if we just meet in the middle on our rankings, I think New Hope slots in just fine at C.
Absolutely.
It was good for its time. As of now, like going back and I can't watch. I can't really
It's just
sit
too
down
slow
and watch
paced.
Very slow paced.
We're in an age where 20-second videos or 10-second videos rule the world.
So we're gonna be pretty hard on the. It sounds like we're gonna be pretty hard on all the older films.
Yeah.
Dear God, the boomers are coming.
Oh yeah.
They're right there, just mocking them.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go to, what is this? Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me
I don't
if
even know
I'm
the names of them
wrong.
anymore because they're just like, they're not the first thought when I think of Star Wars.
They're very, very old.
When I think of Star Wars, I think of the Clone Wars. Honestly,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the one where they get frozen in carbonite at the end, and they go to Cloud
Darth
City?
Vader reveals that he's Luke's father.
Yes.
You see,
Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it in the last 70 years.
came out in
Anyway.
the
Where the
70s.
first Death Star blows up.
It's 50 years, but
Tomato. All right, so on 3, we're gonna rank.
This is
one.
where they get frozen in carbonite too, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yes.
Boba Fett
Darth Vader, Cloud City, Lando
loses his hand.
Yes.
Did they find out their siblings? I don't think so. I think that's
that's in the Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
All right, so on 3.
On 3, Caleb, count us down.
3, 2, 1. B.
A.
I'd say B.
I say B.
Hey, by the way, John, on 3 means on 3. It doesn't
I
mean
know.
wait.
He wants to hear my opinion and just agree with me. It's okay, John.
I have my opinions too. I'm not a clone.
John's processor is just taking a little longer.
I know.
John hasn't
It
updated
is.
his software.
I have
John's
an
still
old
back
brain.
in the 70s CGI.
I have an old brain.
Well, hello there, William.
So Nathan, you said A. I'm bound to agree with you just because this is where we do meet Yoda. This is where we meet Yoda.
I have one reason why this film ranks so highly for me, and I think it's probably the best film of all of them. Just because Leia and Han Solo, right before he gets frozen in carbonite. I love you.
I know.
That moment, right? The aura of Han Solo alone puts this movie at an A tier for me.
As Leia's kissing,
and he
on
absolutely
Luke's, like,
shot first. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
He shot. Honestly, I actually looked at it. It looks like as soon as Han shot, it redirected Greedo's hand, and Greedo pulled the trigger as well, and it went up above Han. So I feel like Han shot first, and that's what caused Greedo to pull the trigger. Is Han already shot, and in shock, Greedo pulled the trigger.
It was the first time we ever got to see Jabba.
I was looking. Everyone was talking about it. I just went back to it, and I'm like, I see the bolt just going over Han's head. Why is this a conversation?
Right.
But I feel like,
yeah,
because
no,
we
you got the
first meet
fight.
Yoda,
You get the fight of Darth Vader and Luke. You get the reveal of him being his father. You get Cloud City, the only black man in the galaxy at the time, Lando Calrissian.
Lando Calrissian.
And you also get Boba Fett. I mean, you can't.
You also get like the first time in Star Wars. Well, this is the second film, but where you witness a Force ghost, kind of gives you the idea of Force powers.
Yes.
Where Obi-Wan became a Force ghost and was talking to Luke beyond the grave, and that's kind of like a holy crud. He's a wizard.
And this was, this is also where Hoth took place, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
this
John,
is
is
a
there any-
legendary film, in my opinion. When I think about the
So,
original trilogy, this is
I'm
the one that
swaying
comes to
towards
my head.
A. I'm swaying towards A along with Nathan. What are you swaying? Are you staying at B or?
We got to think
Well-
about the other films too. I mean, but
Yeah,
to me, out
absolutely.
of the originals, I think this one ranks the highest for me.
Well,
Yeah.
well, out of the originals,
You
yeah.
have Hoth,
But out of
you get the
whole of
introduction,
Star
you
Wars,
get the
what are you
introduction
thinking?
of Yoda, Boba Fett, the
See,
reveal of the father.
Different planets.
That's why I feel like where you're getting, Nathan. You're comparing just the Star Wars films, the first three. You're not seeing it like to what I'm getting at, to what you're talking about. You're not seeing it as a whole, right? You're just ranking them based on the three, right?
I would much rather watch this than a lot of the other films on this list.
That's not hard.
Exactly. So my A ranking stays the same.
Okay.
I think
I'm
it's a
swaying towards A
phenomenal
because
film.
we do get to meet Yoda. Kind of funny.
I'm sort of there to A, but I just think B would just be the most appropriate thing in my standards.
All right. So we're gonna go with overall high. What is it? Two out of three.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
think it's
we're gonna
A.
go.
It's A tier.
Yeah.
Group
gonna be
listing,
A
A tier. John doesn't like that, but you know what? John kick rocks.
All right. So now
CT 210487. We got Echo.
7260. What?
We got Echo in the chat. Shout out Echo.
CT 7567, known as Captain Rex or something like that. But yeah, Echo, welcome.
Echoes in the chat.
Alrighty, on to the next.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, we got William Bischoff. Bischoff.
It's
Sorry.
Echo, according to you, Caleb.
Yes, that's our
Echo.
guy.
Oh,
That's our
Echo.
guy.
How
from
about you
Australia.
read? Learn how to read.
you know, that's fair. I'm sorry, Echo. My bad.
Anyway, shall we continue?
All right, so we're gonna go with Return of the Jedi.
This one was my absolute favorite.
This one was your. Oh, why was your favorite? Before we go into a ranking, we're
Yeah,
gonna
before-
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John, convince me before I blind rank this thing why it's your favorite.
Well,
Ewoks?
close to it. But I would say yes, the Ewoks destroying the stormtroopers basically out of nowhere by just attacking them. Han Solo coming back from being carbonated
It shows Bear Lives Matter,
and shows that he would be a true leader. On
he's not
Endor.
frozen in carbonite anymore.
No, like not frozen in carbonite anymore. Leia got him. Leia got him out. But the thing is that this is where Leia reveals to Luke that she is his sister. Because, well, actually, Luke actually asked the question, but Leia said, "I know. I always know."
Isn't this the film with Yeah, this is the film with Jabba the Hutt dying, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the Sarlacc pit. This is
Fett,
Palpatine
yeah, Sarlacc
dying,
pit.
Vader redeeming himself, the full cycle of Anakin.
Yeah.
But my favorite part at the very end is where Luke finally changes his father to the light side.
He gets to see Hayden Christensen for the first time.
And when he says, "Luke, you were right. You were right about me. Like you believed and you never gave up."
You get to
Very
see.
much.
It's
You get to
something that
see.
motivated me as an older brother to keep going and keep motivating myself to look straight forward and never look back.
You
Yeah.
get to see. You get to
I
see
just-
Hayden Christensen's long, luscious, curly hair, and then it cuts over to Luke's bowl cut. It's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I just don't like the idea of Boba Fett being dead for however long. Like we had to wait for the book of Boba Fett to come out for so long.
People
No,
wanted
you
him
had
to
the
be
comics.
alive.
In the comics, he survived 2 Sarlacc pits. So I mean,
So this is like his third one.
this would be this. Well,
So-
canonically, it would be his
Theories.
first one.
you can.
Theoretically
You
speaking.
can. Let's count this down from 3. I think I know where I want to put this film.
Let me. Okay, 3, 2, 1. B.
B. No, yeah, I think
I
it's
mean,
a B film. You know,
That's
the
respectable. That's respectable.
We get
The-
Yoda dying, but there's no. I mean, there's there's not really any. The only comical thing about this, actually, I don't even think it's in this one. I think it was in the fifth episode, Empire Strikes Back, when Han runs into the stormtroopers and then like, oh, runs back.
Yeah, like, oh no.
Yeah, there's not really any the only comical thing they have is for C-3PO, and like, I don't know.
You know, the way you're talking, I'm now seeing why you like the Phantom Menace. If you're
Why?
talking comedy in Star Wars, you really like this.
I'm talking about like it all has just like there's no build up for anything. For the Phantom Menace, there's a lot of build up with.
Okay, hold on, stop it. I'm gonna
the
stop you right there. This is where the Death Star goes.
second one.
The second one.
Correct. This is also where Vader throws Palpatine down. We get the amazing fight between Luke and Vader. Like this, the build up to end the Empire was there. It's not that there was no build up here. This was a fantastic movie. I just don't think it has that aura that Han Solo did when he was frozen in carbonite.
Yeah.
But it had that father and son.
Luke
bond.
realized he was kissing his sister.
Like,
that's what that's negative aura.
I feel like it showed Darth Vader's soft side, and he's not really that feared anymore. You know, he's big and he's a black suit, and it's like, oh, he's very intimidating. But then he talks to Luke like, we're just going to take you to the Emperor.
But Luke was the one that says, I believe that you were once Anakin Skywalker, my father. And that's when Lord Vader said, that name is dead to me. Like, not anymore.
Well, you have, in the fourth one, or in the fifth movie, you have Luke and Vader fighting.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, you have them fighting, but it's like, it's not as, I don't know why, it's just not as intense. Because they were in Cloud City, they were throwing things at each other like crazy. Like Vader was throwing things at Luke like crazy, even cut off a limb. This one, it just seemed like Darth Vader was kind of soft.
But he also cut off his father's robot arm.
Yeah, but I'm just saying Darth Vader isn't that, like, he wasn't just...
The thing is I think you're getting really caught up on Darth Vader right now being a soft. This is his redemption episode. This is where he finally comes to the light. What do you mean? Yeah, he's not mass slaughtering younglings anymore. He's now
not
dad.
blowing up any more planets.
Exactly.
He only blew off one.
Yeah, and that's in the fifth movie.
Hence why it's an A.
So you want to go A?
No, it's a B. This is a B tier film. It's not as.
Oh,
good
you're saying
as,
that's why Empire Strikes Back was.
It's not exactly. It's not. It's a B tier film here.
It could be a
so
B tier.
it's a respectable B.
John think it's his favorite film. I disagree. It doesn't have Han Solo's aura.
Yeah, John, this is not your favorite film. We're disagreeing with you.
No, it's a father and son bond. That's what I like.
All right.
Like that's what I always wanted ever since I was little.
We just want to get those out of the way as painless as possible. Now we're getting into the
we're not original trilogy fans.
We're getting into the nitty gritty. We are putting the originals at a respectable level, all because that's what introduced Star Wars
for the time and what it's built. And
now,
I mean, just think the lore and the legacies behind these characters.
Absolutely.
The more I think about Luke Skywalker, I mean, it just. I love Star Wars. It's fantastic.
I feel like if they were made later in the years, it would be.
Oh, absolutely, because it's kind of funny going from like, you get the opening scene and like Revenge of the Sith. I mean, think about this. Think about this. You get the opening scene in Revenge of the Sith, and then you get Ewok Village fighting AT-AT walkers. Like the level of technology between these films is astronomical.
About this. You had Ian McDiarmid, who played Ben Kenobi. He was an 80-year-old that was just, hitting sticks. But then you have Christopher Lee, an 80-year-old that was just in the prequels throwing hands, man.
Very good.
Ian McDiarmid was in the original trilogies.
Ian McDiarmid, isn't he?
That's Palpatine, brother.
Is it? Who played Ben Kenobi?
I have no idea.
Ben Kenobi, the character who played Chancellor in the original or in the prequels.
Yeah, dude, you're talking about Palpatine in episodes 1 through 3, man.
Not Ian McDiarmid,
dude. I'm
talking about Ben Kenobi.
That was the 80s, brother.
Don't know but the guy who played Ben Kenobi, he was in.
This is the guy we have ranking these. He doesn't even know who Ian McDiarmid is.
dude, it's whatever.
Rest in
All right.
peace, by the way.
So now we're gonna go ahead and rank the prequels.
Alec Guinness.
That's what I was thinking of. My bad. Yeah, he was a really old guy, just doing what he can. But then you have Christopher Lee just flailing his lightsaber. Take like in 2 movies a 2-on-1.
Yes.
Granted, one of them he lost, but it's all scripted. But the way he followed along and was able to do that, just be elusive, is just crazy for an 80-year-old.
It's like it was beautiful.
I feel like you're thinking of
Perfectly
I feel like you're thinking of the remastered YouTube version of the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader fight. We are not thinking of the same fight, man. Alec Guinness, I mean, all due respect, rest in peace, brother.
No, I'm talking about Christopher Lee as Count Dooku.
Oh, okay. Then okay.
Yeah,
well,
how he was an 80-year-old that was super elusive.
We can move on to episode 1 then. I mean, we could blind rank this guy.
All right. So we're just gonna blind rank it. 3, 2, 1. S.
D.
You rank it a D?
I might give it a C. And the only reason why is because I'm torn on which one I don't like more. It's between Attack of the Clones and this and Phantom Menace. I don't know which one I don't like more.
You can have multiple on S, like S tier.
No, I get you could have multiple on S.
But
Phantom Menace does not deserve
film
to be in S.
This is the first Star Wars film that has like surpassed all like CGI and everything. Sure, it got a lot of hate, but
how long has it been since you watched this film?
Like 3 weeks.
Not that long ago for me either,
I've watched it 3 weeks ago.
If we're talking surpassing CGI, we're going to episode 3. But those battle droids in episode 1
I'm talking about
so fake to me now.
This is the first Star Wars movie that just kind of blew people's mind on just like how well it was done. Like all the animated and all the animated droids and everything, just like it's crazy.
Very crazy.
So why is it an S tier?
I love Star Wars politics, always have, and this is the only movie that really has like a lot of Star Wars politics in it. You have Padme Amidala, Queen, and she wanted to go to Naboo, and that's when you seen the whole Senate and everyone trying how people voted against helping out Naboo and everything going on. And it's like, dude, this is like people people from all different planets. Like there's infinite amount of planets and there's just a bunch of people here just voting. And it's like, dude, like this is really cool. Like just see how things are passed. It's just absolutely insane. And then you have one chancellor that kind of just is the voice of reason ish. If you know what I'm talking about, just he'll bring down 2 people and then they'll debate it out. And then everyone else will cast their vote. And it's like, that's a really cool way to like have people vote about things is you get one that's for it and one that's against it. And then everyone around from different planets don't even know everything. It's like they're passing a law and they heard one side of the planet's story and then another side that's opposed to it. And it's like, that's just really cool. It's like very diverse and just inclusive with everything. It's like, I don't know, it's just super cool to me. And I could watch this over and over and over again. Like if I were to pick a prequels movie to watch, it'd be The Phantom Menace. I do love what is the third movie? I can't read it.
Revenge of
the Sith. Sorry. I do love that movie, but just not as much as The Phantom Menace.
Well, now that you put it that way.
And if you read the Plagueis book,
look, I'm going to rebuttal because you guys keep saying the same. I don't know what. Maybe John's put in this at S tier because the introduction of the battle droids, but when it comes to like, this has okay. So like, what does this movie have going for it? You have Star Wars politics, which is to each its own audience. But then you have then you have the greatest, probably isn't it arguably the best lightsaber duel ever?
Yes.
Between Darth Maul
It is one of the
Obi-Wan.
best duels to ever happen, and it's the first introduction to a double blade lightsaber, where people are like, "Oh, hey, this stuff can be different." I think this is the only double blade lightsaber, now that I think about it, in all the movies.
Yeah.
Unless you want to count trash, but we're not
The
gonna get
only
into that.
reason I'm putting it low, and to me it's very slow paced. It's oh geez, I got a cat attacking my wires. Okay, it's a very slow paced film, and just meeting Jar Jar going underwater to meet the blah, 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 guy. It's just it wasn't there for me. I don't have as much hate for this film as like I feel like I think I do.
Well, I'm a book junkie, so when it comes to like,
we're
if
not
you're-
talking about books. We're talking about films here.
well, I'm
The
talking
movie
about
itself.
like there's all these things that are going on, but if you read one of the books, it tells you like why it happened, and that gives me a new perspective for the Phantom Menace. Is when you have that perspective on like why they invaded Naboo and how it came to be, and all the stuff that happened, and how the pod races came to be. It's absolutely insane, and that's like when you see that in the movies, you're like, well, I know what caused this. This is actually really cool, and all that. Like, Plagueis was a huge politician, and I love politics. And when you have all these deals being made around, and it made what's like happened in the films, like everything that happened is just like what politics came to be. Like they were just making deals, all this stuff, closing out, rejecting deals. It's like it's honestly really cool, like how it affects the Star Wars universe, like that much. That's just
Honestly,
me personally.
I don't really have a great rebuttal. I think I'd be okay with moving it up to the A or B.
Okay,
Just
yeah.
I don't
I
every
was
time
debating an A.
this movie is probably more boring to me now because anytime I try to binge Star Wars, I start with this movie and then I kind of teeter off and don't finish the binge.
I could watch this movie 3 times over and not even get bored of it. That's just me.
I'll give it. I
Same thing
think
with
this
all the
is
prequel
better
movies.
than the
Honestly,
next.
all the prequel movies, I can just binge them and not get bored because I just love the progression of everything. The introduction to Anakin Skywalker. You get to see Liam Neeson.
Die.
Exactly.
But it doesn't give you the absolute thrill of what Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith does.
Hey,
will
we
find
all got to admit
you.
that Ewan McGregor tried doing a Taken movie and didn't come out clean because it wasn't Liam Neeson.
Like, let's just say this: like, basically,
We're
like in the
chasing down Leia.
like basically in the beginning of the movie, a planet gets abducted by robots.
But
And but I know what the past is. Just let me talk.
Yeah.
You've done enough.
That's fair.
Word.
So the planet gets abducted by battle droids, which we all know what this and this and this does. So Padme Amidala, new queen, doesn't know about war stuff until Naboo was basically saved by 2 Jedi and a bunch of her soldiers that are basically fighting these robots. But they could be dozens and dozens of them, which basically you think it's hopeless. Like there's nothing you can do. But the thing is that I know it's a politics type thing, but it doesn't give you enough thrill because you wait till the very end for the battle to begin.
This is I'll stray away from politics, but this is the introduction to everybody. Like a lot of people. This is the introduction to Padme Amidala. Yeah. This is the introduction to R2-D2. This is the introduction to Anakin Skywalker. This is the upcoming of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
R2-D2?
R2-D2 was in the very old movies.
No, this is the introduction to him, how he came to be. How he is because he stuck out more than the other. He was the only astromech to survive.
Oh, right.
Survive that repairing the ship.
Yeah, repairing the
ship. And they praised
him.
Forgot. And he was there from Anakin becoming a Jedi all the way. Mm-hmm. And even going to his son. Like, it's just, like, this is the introduction to 3 main people. Padme served 2 years, and how she, like, the hidden secret behind Padme was really cool. How she had a decoy.
Yeah.
And you learn about this, and then in the second movie, the decoy dies, and that was the whole reason for having a decoy. And I find that super cool. Is they give you like military strategies too, and then you get the Gungan army. I get Jar Jar was super annoying.
To be frank, I feel
my own
like
theory about
my
that.
whole despite towards this movie has to be the Gungans. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I wasn't too much of a fan of Jar Jar. I think he did better. It's just so interesting if you kind of believe in the theory of him being the actual Phantom Menace. It's fantastic. Honestly, I love the character, but he was annoying. He was a kind of a waste of time, and so was just any Gungan on the screen to me was just boring.
I have my own theory about Jar Jar on how he's just a person that doesn't know he even has the Force.
Oh yeah, well maybe we'll have to talk about that when we're not ranking films.
That's fair. I'll be down for that, 100%.
So
I will put it as an A. I'll go down one for you guys for my favorite Star Wars film. I'll go down one. I won't be too harsh on that.
Yeah, I'm not letting that go at S. No way. John, didn't you put it at S?
I did, but then I downgraded it to A.
Why?
Because it doesn't give you that much of a thrill.
Well,
I was only excited because I get
Duel
to
of the
see
Fates?
like the droids that are actually like when I was a child. I loved seeing those things. They're pretty cool. Like they have awesome voices. They look scary. Like they're like they're very manipulative.
I love what Nathan just said. Duel of the Fates. That is the most iconic orchestra music to ever exist.
Mm-hmm.
You play the Phantom Menace, everybody's gonna know what that is.
Yes.
Also with the Imperial March too. Everyone knows what that is. Oh crud, this is Darth Vader.
Unless if someone says, "Oh, it's the Force Awakens."
No.
So to be frank, I'm outranked here, and I feel like it.
John brought it down to an A. John brought it down to an A. So I put it.
I'll agree with this. I mean, I could skip this film to be honest with you. I've seen it so many times just because it's where I start with my binge.
Start a binge, you
I start a binge that I never finish, and then I try to start again, and it just gets all downhill.
That's fair.
Now let's start for the introduction of the clone troopers. We have Attack of the Clones.
And can we also just acknowledge that Qui-Gon Jinn is the weakest Jedi to ever exist? Man died to a stab in the gut. Come on, I mean Disney shows you how it's done. It's easy.
Absolutely. Like it makes me mad how Qui-Gon died, but everyone else getting stabbed just survives. It like insults Qui-Gon.
It's like, here, Qui-Gon, let me show you how this works. Like, got like stabbed in the pelvis by Darth Maul, and like just
yep.
It shows that he sort of takes it, but
no, he just goes like, oh, and then dies.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but it built the character of Obi-Wan though. Of how much pain that he was in by losing someone that's more like a father figure to him.
Well, then it was the fate of who raised Anakin, which was just amazing to think about. So,
yeah,
I'll let it go at A, but it's not S tier. It's not S tier.
Absolutely.
And that
it has Jar Jar Binks in it. It's not it's not S tier. And AKA Jar Jar Binks is the main character. Okay,
that's fair.
Yeah. All right.
So I forgot to add two things on this list. Made me think of it.
It's all right. We'll get to it.
Anyways, so we're gonna go with Attack of the Clones. John, this is arguably one of your favorite films.
It is.
Is it because it shows Camino for the first time?
No. Because it shows a huge giant battle in an arena. So Jedi had to survive against thousands
It
of
shows
droids.
a bunch of Jedi.
Yes, from the
Jedi.
Jedi.
How many Jedi there actually are? Just so many.
You're basically like a lone gladiator versus like 20 more people.
You guys ever watch that video of like that guy that just watches everything in slow motion and you just see Jedi just messing around?
It was funny
because
it was really cool to see updated battle droids in this B2s, like more destroyers and all that. But the real thing that catches me is that when the Jedi were basically like at the point of like losing so much and getting surrounded and basically all hope is lost, Yoda went to Kamino and grabbed the army and came in just in time to get the Jedi. That gave me the thrill that I need to seeing those soldiers in action.
Yeah.
And once that happens, then we go to another battle that's happening way more further out of the arena, where the clones were now introduced into a battle of Geonosis, where they see these new upcoming weird technology that they're versing.
Yeah.
Here's my pet peeve with this film, because I was very nostalgia based when I think about this film. I'm like, oh my God, it's Attack of the Clones. This is where the clones are introduced. This is an amazing, amazing film. And, one of the things I kind of correlate back to when I say that is you got Dooku versus Yoda, Dooku versus Obi-Wan and Anakin. You got amazing duels.
Again,
And then you know what I did? You know what happened? I grew up. I rewatched this film maybe a month ago. Holy cow. All I watched was Dooku and Anakin in a single shot, just them waving their lightsabers like this, like they're fighting each other instead of like the panoramic vision that I had of this fight. I rewatched it and I kind of cringed a little. I'm like, this is what I thought was one of the best duels to ever exist. It was actually cringe. And to me, when I think that's the reason why I don't think so highly of this film anymore, just due to that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I wasn't very interested in the lightsaber duels.
But then again,
but then you got the Battle of Geonosis.
That's fair. But it's really hard to top the previous film's best fight, which is Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Darth Maul. It's kind of hard when you have someone who's skilled with a double blade lightsaber, and that's what you see, and then someone with one, same thing, 1-on-2.
One with the curved hilt.
Yeah.
Which is actually better for dueling, according to fans.
It doesn't need to beat the last film. I just was shocked of how many close-ups they did of the fight.
That's fair.
And I couldn't, there was no real action. I was kind of, and the amount of Skywalkers that lose their hands, it's just a family tradition. I'm just.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Rey will always stay Palpatine.
Yeah, she has two hands. She has two hands, yeah.
She hasn't gone through the hero's journey.
Yeah.
If she cut off her hand, then we could start talking about her.
But then again, you got to admit, how many times has Anakin lost an arm? You have him versus Dooku. You have him versus Obi-Wan. He lost multiple limbs, and you have him versus his son. This man has got beaten so many times.
I think
they call him the chosen
one. He's
one?
a true Skywalker.
I think we're ready to blind rank this.
Yeah, absolutely. 3, 2, 1.
B. And the only reason I gave it B, and this is kind of what made me change my opinion about the previous film, is I think I'd rather watch that than A New Hope.
That's fair.
A New Hope's just way too slow, way too boring. I'd rather watch Dooku diddle himself than watch A New Hope.
So
I've been looking forward.
We're gonna go ahead and just
I've been looking forward to this.
I've been looking forward for this diddle.
Alrighty. So then we got arguably the best Star Wars film to ever come out.
Mm-hmm.
In live action at least, is
Revenge of the
Sith. I think we're ready to.
You can go ahead and start the countdown.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
S. No question. The
no
best.
Doubt, no question.
1 second. I have to scroll up a little bit.
Hey, put it up there. Okay,
I just scroll. I don't have enough room. There's this little throw up guy right here. He's there for a reason. We'll get to that in a little bit.
No,
Dooku and Anakin fight, waving the thing around.
This is one thing that Nathan wasn't aware that we were doing. So before the Clone Wars, we have the original Clone Wars that came out that we're gonna put in this as well.
That's fine. How about we talk about episode 3?
He already knew about the cartoon one.
Yeah. What is there to talk about, man? I mean,
There's a lot.
No,
to
I'm
talk
just saying,
about.
like that.
There's a lot to talk about, but I feel like
That's fair. I mean, there's the two duels going on simultaneously that's never happened in a Star Wars movie. Two duels going on. You have Yoda and Palpatine, and you have Anakin and Obi-Wan. That is, and the crazy, like, Yoda did better than versus Count Dooku. Like, oh my gosh, the amount of like pressure that was on. And then you have Order 66, the biggest downfall, and so emotional when it comes to all those clones that were together with
the
the
destruction
Jedi.
of the Republic.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing
when
I
you
really
get into the
like.
Clone Wars, it becomes more emotional.
Well, staying on topic of this film, the thing I really like about Revenge of the Sith is the fact that seeing good guys win is so predictable.
Yeah.
Granted, I feel like, if you knew the originals, there was kind of an idea of who was going to win in the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it happened, the heartstrings when Order 66 was executed, it changed everything.
Yeah.
Although I knew the outcome of the fight or of the war, it still, even to this day, knowing execute Order 66 is a thing, tugs on the heartstring.
Yep.
Watching the good guys lose, and if you know me, my opinions on like Reacher, if y'all watch Reacher season 3, someone needed to die. Some good guys need to die for the film to be good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
I'm watching, Conehead get shot 1,000 times for not telling us that there was the Acolyte. Screw you, Keanu Monday.
The Galactic Marines rule again.
But that's why I feel like it's S tier. Just knowing the outcome of the movie and how gut-wrenching it is to watch. It was executed flawlessly. To me, the greatest duel of all time.
And some of the saddest deaths
And
to ever happen in Star Wars.
It's the only time that every Star Wars fan watches this film. This is the only reaction you'll ever get while Order 66 was issued is that's it.
And then we have the high ground.
Absolutely.
That's where the meme
Yoda
comes
should have had
from.
the high ground. If Yoda had the high ground, they would have won.
All
the Jedi had the high ground.
Yoda was big pimping, dude. He walked in there and just dusted off those royal guards. Just no problems.
Or should
yeah.
I call you Darth?
Throwing Palpatine over his seat.
Yeah. Negative aura moment for Palpatine on that one. I almost saw his panties as he flew over.
All right. I don't think there's like too much to say because I mean,
it's all
every-
great.
It's the greatest
seen,
film.
Like anyone that's seen this film knows that is obviously an S tier film.
We're talking about the ending too. I mean, just the start of the film, that immense space battle. I mean, you can't
that
beat
huge space
in,
battle.
in a battle that no one can still explain is like what happened in the Battle of Coruscant. People still speculate, and it's really cool how people come up with.
And also, you got the infamous "Do it" meme.
And you
It's
have
S tier.
and you have three good lightsaber duels. You also have Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan again.
Mm-hmm.
This time Dooku dies.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
and then you have Grievous. So what? 4 lightsaber battles.
Well, you
everything
witnessed. I mean, you witnessed the "take a seat" meme. Everything was generated from this film. The progression of Anakin and his distrust with the Jedi, it's absolutely fantastic.
And
Mace Windu got thrown through the window.
And where the clones have individual names instead of numbers.
Yep.
Absolutely, and you can see the bond and trust between the clones when it comes to Obi-Wan talking to Cody. It's like you can see the trust.
Yes.
S tier film for sure.
Absolutely. All right, so the next one is going to be the first Clone Wars film to come out, like the Clone Wars series. Now, is everyone ready to give this a rating, or
I think I'm ready.
You think you're ready?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. We're
I'm
gonna
kind
go
of scared at this point.
3, 2, 1.
C.
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 Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Just a solid C.
I
My
the
opinion-
only
Is because there was no vocals in it. There was barely any communication in there, so you don't know. Like you can kind of tell what's going on, but it's like you don't know what's going on. At
Kit
the same
Fisto
time.
was the man in this show.
Oh, 100%.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
The reason why I just think it's just kind of mid is because the only times I think of this show is when I'm like
When it pops
looking
up, on
up
Disney Plus.
no, when I'm looking up like inspirational music and they got scenes of this playing with on the front line or something.
That's when like this stuff hits.
Yeah,
You
some
listen
rock,
to front line
some
and
rock
watch it
and music, and
simultaneously.
they got glimpses or highlights of this show playing.
Like
Got
this is nothing
Grievous
but
absolutely
action, but
decimating everybody.
there's no stop in between it.
My favorite song, whenever I first saw this on the internet, with Kit Fisto singing "Minded," was "Blow Me Away" from Halo.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see those clones in action along with Kit Fisto. That got me the buzz I needed. Like it was amazingly well done, well animated,
Yeah. So
and the battles were flawless.
yeah. So the
Like
the
there's
film.
just no time to breathe.
Yeah. So the show must not be that great if that's the only thing I can remember from it is music that people put over it.
Yeah.
And
You
you got to
need
give
to have
credit.
you need to actually have some vocals to actually watch this.
Yeah.
And they're
Precisely.
like music.
Precisely.
Let me hear your battle cry tonight.
So there's not really much to
Down
say
the
about this
sky.
one. It's all just action. There's no spacing in between to actually get you to catch up. I feel like it just goes way too fast.
It does feel like it goes way too. But me on a couple of episodes, it just makes me feel like. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like more of a slow pace on a couple of episodes, but more of it just got more better and better.
Yeah.
Like Mace Windu versus all those super battle droids. While the clones were just like, oh, well, what's this big giant hammer machine?
All right. So for the next one, we have the Clone Wars season 1 through season 5. That's where the cutoff was before Disney took over.
This is where the clones.
Are we
finally
really
get their
ranking the last 2 seasons separately?
Just
Are
in
you
case.
kidding me?
Just in case we have different opinions on it. You know, I just want to have like a fair say and like if someone
Okay, we'll just count us down to 3 and you're going to see how much of an idiot you are.
3, 2, 1.
S.
S.
Yeah,
It's
there you go.
here, all the way.
Well, I wanted to at
Hey,
least
hey,
have.
get out of there.
I just wanted to at least have one Disney film to have in us. Second one, and then we'll talk about all the Clone Wars. 3, 2, 1.
S.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't even
Heartbreaking
recall the
S.
last season. I don't think I've watched it in its entirety. But
It's
if you have the Clone Wars labeled slapped on this thing and that crisp animation, it's an S. It's an S. It's goated. It's the best.
absolutely.
This is where
Like you have so much emotion in this. You have like there's so many clones that you get to know, and you never know because they're not in the actual films. The only one that's in the films is Cody. So you know, okay, well he's gonna survive. But you have so many other clones. You have Captain Rex. You don't know what's gonna happen to him. All the suspense on these clones that you grow to love can easily be taken away, and we see that with Domino Squad.
yes.
They were taken away from us, and it was super sad. It was super emotional.
Cut up, droid bait, heavy, even Echo when we thought he was dead.
Yep. We grow so attached to them, and they get ripped away. And that's something I enjoy about films is to have like expendability. You don't just have all the good guys win. No, like there are things that go wrong, and your favorite clones do die. Like look at the Ambara episode
There's
where
more.
Blaster dies.
What was your guys' favorite like arc in the Clone Wars?
My favorite arc, honestly, mine goes like if we're talking like
Just favorite arc. Just give me your favorite arc. Which one would you go back and watch today?
what? Oh, there's so many of them.
Well, the one that outbeats most of them.
The one I like, there's one arc that I will only watch the ending to, and that's Gregor's arc, because the first 2 episodes of that are just horrendous.
Mine would be the battle. Mine would be the Battle of Camino.
Battle of
Yeah,
Camino.
I was gonna agree with John on that one. That or Ambara, but I'm totally on board for Camino.
I love
The Battle of Camino was great.
Darth Maul coming back.
I mean, the Battle of
I
GMOs
love
is
I
good
love the
too.
siege, like where Darth Maul takes over Mandalore. That's an arc I love, and I would watch that all the time.
Yeah.
That's like pre-Vizsla.
I never got into Death Watch when I did watch the
Neither
show.
did I.
Well, if you
And-
learn it,
Well, that's the thing. When I
Um,
listen to the lore of Death Watch, I can see why people are into it.
well,
I can't speak on it too much, but I agree that the Camino arc was
it's
probably
in
the
the
best.
Vizsla family that made the Darksaber, and pre-Vizsla was the one holding it, so his ancestors held onto it, and then having that ripped away from Darth Maul to show his
Doesn't
power.
matter.
But the
Doesn't matter.
the
Moff
clones
Gideon
defending
held
their
the damn
home.
dark saber.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
the
but
Clone Wars would be over.
I love Mandalorians, dude. I love Mandalorians, and to see them in action, dude, is absolutely insane.
I don't think
No,
it matters.
my favorite will
Moff
always be
Gideon
the
held the dark saber.
That will be the only thing I will
But,
ever watch over and over and over again.
If I were to watch one over and over and over again, it would be the either the Siege of Mandalore, which is Ahsoka versus Darth Maul,
Mhm.
or it would be the Rise of Maul, pretty much where Savage goes out and finds Maul. After he finds Maul, not before, but like when he finds Maul and on forward. I love watching those so many times just because I love Sam Witwer so much from The Force Unleashed, and then when he comes back as Palpatine and Darth Maul, I just have a love for him. And, but that's just me. But the Siege of Mandalore, so good, and Disney did something super right with that. I will admit, like they finished off the Clone Wars perfectly.
You got to give Dave Filoni a bunch of respect for that.
It's because they let Dave Filoni control everything. It's super nice. That's because that was his story to tell, and he would contact George Lucas and make sure everything's all good and all that stuff. Because George Lucas always wanted to be a part of this again, even after he sold it, he's always wanted to still be a part of it.
Man,
that's what's
the
good about
trend
him.
right here looks great. Everything is looking pretty solid. How can anybody mess up such a special
C and
list?
up.
I
C
mean,
and up, absolutely. So now we're gonna go to Rebels.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Is everyone ready? I feel like we should vote and then give our reasons why.
No.
okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh.
3,
okay.
2, 1. D.
D.
You said D?
I said C.
I said D. If it was Clone Wars animation, it would probably be a C or D for me. But
I will admit, I will admit, when I was like younger and I first watched this, yeah, the animation turned me off in a way. But I can't even. I have not watched all of it, but from what the lore I understand of it is, I think it's all right.
well, it's not. There's no confusing part about it. I mean,
No.
most of the time it's all the good guys win in the end.
Well, they got their own. They got their own story. They ain't really. To my knowledge, it didn't mess around with the lore in any way.
Yeah.
It didn't, but it didn't like. Would you go back and binge watch this like the Clone Wars?
I don't even think I finished it, but
Exactly my point. It's like,
I will say that it's still a C tier. I don't think it's D because I already know I got plenty of other shows on here that are about to fill out those. But I would say it was a pretty respectable film on Disney's part.
I'll go up with respectable with it. I'll go to a respectable.
I would say it's average. It's
I
okay
would say
compared to what we got today. Rebels was a blessing.
That's fair.
Rebels was definitely
after
a
Clone
blessing.
Wars ends, everyone was just in depression. But then when Rebels came out, it gave them a little hope.
But then you get to
It's a
see
new,
like
that's
Well,
why it's next to A New Hope.
but then you got back to Captain Rex, Gregor, and Wolf, and now you want to know how the heck they got their inhibitor chips out. We got the Rex story.
Well,
Yeah,
John,
there was a lot of good
that
stuff.
You got that in the last season of Clone Wars.
I know, that's why I said we got the Rex story.
But
We don't
still,
have the Gregor or the Wolf story.
Yeah, and then you realize,
Conveniently, when Nathan said that, like Rebels is just a new hope for us, and it's next to A New Hope.
I know that.
I would say that's a
I
great way to
applaud you.
describe Rebels. It is exactly like the New Hope of the original trilogy.
Where's George
Absolutely.
Lucas when you need Nathan?
The story with it is just it introduces someone really cool, Admiral Thrawn. But other than that, like you have Darth Vader. But if you guys like really listen to Darth Vader's voice, oh my god, it's horrendous. It is super horrendous, man.
Yep.
And Ahsoka's animation, dude, I didn't like it.
The whole animation was wonky, but I could get behind a story of it being.
I can get behind the story, but I can't watch it though.
I can't. I can't watch it either, but I also can't watch The New Hope, and I'm giving it a C.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Now,
we're gonna go after these guys. We're gonna go to the. I'm waiting for you, Nathan. Were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, are we still going in order here? We got the Mandalorian.
No, we're gonna skip over a little bit.
Okay.
We're gonna go to the Bad Batch now, Nathan. I'm not sure if you've actually watched the Bad Batch.
I can't get behind a Bad Batch.
You can't. Me. So this is just mine, and John's opinion, because I don't think you've finished.
I'll give my opinion on it.
Absolutely, but is it going to be valid? Probably not.
Probably not. No.
So on 3, on go 3, 2, 1, go. B. I was gonna give it a B.
I was gonna give it a.
I would watch it more than Rebels.
That's fair. You said B, Nathan.
Yeah, I would say B. I
So
think
we'll
it's
put
above
a
Rebels.
respectable B.
Okay, yeah.
Me and Nathan said B. So
I mean, it's still higher.
yeah, absolutely. It's still in the like.
It could be higher for you. That's fine.
B and higher.
You're a fan of
higher
Rebels.
is something that you'd watch. Like honestly, just sit down and watch. These
is the
guys,
one
these
I
guys are just not gonna sit. Like these guys, like you may watch every once in a while. Down here, you're like, no.
Yeah, but Bad Batch has
And these
more,
ones are absolutely not. And this and like it should never exist.
Yeah, the Bad Batch has more of a story, basically, about how these defective clones have to go by their own self.
The thing that I don't like about the Bad Batch is just Omega.
Really?
I can't get
Really?
past Omega.
Why is that?
Female
She just
clone?
inserts herself in everything and sounds wonky. I just don't like her.
Oh, okay.
Well, she's the same as Boba, you know, and Boba would insert himself in things a lot.
Yeah, it's just
in the Clone
Boba?
Wars. Yeah, she's Alpha no, Boba's Alpha and she's Omega. Or she's Beta, so
Yeah.
Omega. She was a defective clone that never got the speeding process. So she's older than all the clones, but she's aging normally. So she's like when she's a little brat, she's actually a little brat.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to watch a little brat. It was too Disney-fied for me. That's why I couldn't get by it. But I'll give it a B. I'd rather watch it than Rebels.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And I probably would rather watch it than A New Hope.
So are we
Just-
gonna?
I
Put,
only like the Bad Batch.
so
because of
along with Bad Batch, are we gonna put Bad Batch season 2 right next to it, or?
Why are we doing seasons? It's all in one, man.
Because some seasons, like
No, it doesn't
This goes
matter.
bad,
I'm about to
man.
rank I'm gonna rank the Mandalorian on seasons 2 and 3.
oh yeah, you're right. I don't have that on there.
Yeah, it's
I'll take
yeah,
that.
it's terrible. Yeah,
So as a whole, yeah, B works perfectly for me. So then we're gonna go to Nathan. You've watched Tales of the Jedi, yeah?
yes, I have.
Okay. So we're gonna rank this, and then we'll explain it. 3, 2, 1. S.
B.
B.
S. Are you serious?
S?
Why
Yes,
S?
the story of Dooku, man. The story of how all the things leading up to everything, like how Kamino was deleted, how the clones came to be, and how like Palpatine's plan involved Dooku, and how he why he was such a big part of the plan. And it's so cool. And the other story of it was, who was the other story about? It was about
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, that's right.
I
That's
know
one.
that, and I fell asleep during any time Ahsoka was on.
I did love Ahsoka. I did love Ahsoka's thing when Anakin would train her, and that's what trained her to survive Order 66. Is he had the clones shoot at her just so to be prepared for anything, and anything came, and it was literally clones shooting at her, and she was already prepared for it because of Anakin.
Don't forget the Mandalorian.
That whole story
Death
was not
Watch.
just Anakin.
I'm willing to go
training.
down to an A.
Can
Just
you tell
because-
me anything else about that Ahsoka storyline besides that one moment?
there's 2 episodes that weren't really good, which is why.
Oh
I
my
bring it
God,
down-
there's only 3.
no, there's 6.
Yeah, and 3 of them were Ahsoka.
Yeah, one is her birth. The last one is like what she did after Order 66 was kind of boring, but like in the middle, it was actually really, really awesome.
Okay, that's fine.
And then all
but
of Dooku's were amazing.
you know what? 1 out of 3 gets you in school a 33%.
Yeah, but how about a what is it?
That's fair. Dooku carried the show.
Absolutely.
did carry the
I'll
show.
bring it down to either an A or a respectable B.
I brought it down to a B because the Ahsoka thing really didn't catch me, but
I-
Dooku did. Dooku did.
I said D at first because I'm a hater, but I'll give it a B. I'll change it to B. The only reason I said D is because I fell asleep through the Ahsoka parts. I was so bored.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair.
I only
Um,
cared about the Dooku and about Dooku's story, and they made that stuff like 10 minutes long per episode. It was like, give me more.
Qui-Gon Jinn was there.
Yeah, animated Qui-Gon was there, and it was actually Liam Neeson voicing him.
It was amazing.
Yeah, but and the thing is, it's just I wanted more of that. But they gave us 6 episodes, and they were all like 13 minutes long. It was not enough.
No, if anything, they should have created like a movie or something like that, like the Clone Wars movie.
No,
Yeah.
no, they just should have done like the Rebels or something. I don't know.
But
All right.
the only thing I do like about it is that after Qui-Gon's death, you feel the pain of Dooku.
Oh, that is very true.
And he's
You do really feel the pain of Dooku. Like
He's
he
like-
lost his Padawan, and he even confronted Palpatine about it. He's like, the Emperor about it. He's like, your Maul wasn't supposed to kill him, and he's like, well, we all lose some people,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what happened to Dooku.
I used to bring Qui-Gon to this tree. Never seen anything like it except for a cobble and stone. Like, sound like it always brings me to
It brought
like,
me
an
Clone Wars
emotion.
vibes. It brought me emotional Clone Wars vibes.
Yeah. And Yaddle, we got to see Yaddle too, but he killed
So
her.
before we get into the live action, we're gonna get to the last animated one.
And that is?
That is Tales of the Sith. Nathan, have you
I
seen it?
haven't seen this. What was it about?
I don't remember this.
That's the good question. I've seen it, and like I remember.
It sounds like an F tier if I've ever heard of it.
It's less than F tier, man.
It's worse?
It's something that should have never been made.
Really?
I guarantee you, you'll fall asleep faster than you did in the Ahsoka arc of Tales of the Jedi. Because it's Tales of the Sith. Who was it? It was that witch chick that fought Ahsoka in the Ahsoka series. And who was the other one? I don't even remember that guy.
Was it?
Oh, the guy with the beard. Oh, yeah, he passed away. But,
no, it wasn't him.
Oh, not the guy with the white
No,
beard?
I don't even remember who the second one was.
I
about.
looked up Tales of the Sith on Google, and the first thing that pops up is Tales of the Jedi.
So
hang on, let me see here. I need to look this. My brain's not.
Yeah,
getting
look up the
something.
second story or this. Look up Tales of the Sith stories. Because I don't even remember who the second guy was about.
Are we sure Tales of the Sith was a thing? I'm not even finding it on Google.
I don't think this was a thing.
It was a thing. It is a thing.
Was it like with
Nope,
this guy?
that was Ahsoka. Literally, Tales of the Sith stories. Who was it?
It's with
Oh yeah, it's about Barriss Offee. How she became the chick that betrayed, almost got Ahsoka arrested in the Clone Wars. Luminara's Padawan. She
when we first saw her at the second battle of Geonosis.
she's the one that blew up the temple and framed Ahsoka for it, and that's why Ahsoka was on the run for a while.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that story, man. That already tells me that straight up.
Why do I feel like that emoji just makes me think of grown ups?
Brother, I still
I know
can't
what
even find it on Google. I don't know what this thing is.
Type in Barris Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah, she was an Imperial, and then she switched to the light side, and then like she was inside this cave, and then like the sister came by, and yada yada yada. All it's
dude. The fact that I couldn't even remember her story made me like that. Just tells me that it's literally.
I never remembered it.
I couldn't remember it, man. You had to show me a picture. I'm like, oh yeah,
I don't know
look
what
at the video,
is,
and I'm
this
just like,
is,
oh, this part I remember. But,
yeah, this is terrible.
I didn't know it was Tales of the Sith.
I don't know what this is. I think I've seen it now that I've looked up Barris, but it's terrible. It's disgusting. I don't even know what it was. It's so unimportant.
I feel like that she
Boring.
basically got.
You saw who Barris was, yeah?
Yeah, no, I know who Barris is.
Okay, yeah.
I knew
It's
who
about
Barris
her,
was before I even looked it up.
It was literally boring. The most boring it could get.
I feel like she didn't get enough justice for her story.
There was no justice.
She had plenty of justice in the Clone Wars.
She should have just remained in the Republic prisons and just remained there.
She should just died.
Yeah, who thought like, oh yeah, nobody. Who in the world thought, man, people need more Barris Offee?
Nobody.
I'd rather Offee myself. I'm sorry. So next, since we don't really need to discuss that because we barely know anything about it, and I've even seen it.
Yep. Turn the page.
We're gonna start getting into some Disney live action, and we're gonna start with the movies because this is just everything in order.
Gone.
So we're gonna start with what was it? The
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. Nathan, you've seen The Force Awakens, yeah?
I've seen the movies. What do we talk about?
I don't even remember, man.
We watched them together.
I don't remember.
We were all in theaters together when Han Solo died.
We were watching this.
I don't remember.
And that's when I said the stormtroopers finally hit something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and rank it in 3, 2, 1.
F.
D.
C.
F.
You said C?
Yeah.
I said D.
I said F.
I can get that, like, I mean,
the only reason I'm giving this a C, and I could think of so many reasons to not, is because of all the 3 sequel movies, this is the best.
He's giving him grace.
I feel like they laid the foundation to do a good story or to do a story, but there was no communication between the departments, between the directors of how they wanted to do the story. One wanted to take it one direction, one wanted to take it the other. So everything this film laid out, although I don't exactly agree with everything the film laid out, it got shit canned because, well, it just didn't happen. They just didn't want it. They just changed everything up. So in my opinion, like, it's also tough to think about because when I think about this, Kylo Ren, the Sith leader, he, lost to someone who just picked up a sword, who just picked up a lightsaber.
Yeah, that's fair. But he also threw a temper. Is that the one where he threw a temper tantrum?
Yeah, I can't recall.
The stormtroopers came to the door and they're like, "Oh heck no!"
I think that might have been the second movie. I don't even remember, man.
All I know is this had a whole I remember watching this film and Han Solo died. To be frank, I don't care. I feel like I said, I share the same opinion as I did earlier. Characters need to die for story progression, Han Solo is a expendable character this time in the series.
It's funny that you mentioned that because during the whole Star Wars originals, Harrison Ford kept talking to George Lucas because he's like, I want my character to die. Continuously he told George, and George is like, no.
Yeah, well,
and then Disney gave him the opportunity. He's like, yeah.
Well, the thing is there's a lot of people who are really upset that Harrison Ford died in this movie. And I'm like, I don't think they did his character right. Dude was a deadbeat dad, and just this, he did not mature whatsoever in
This is
his
like a
age.
Disney go-to is a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, he didn't mature whatsoever, but I think his death
Yes,
did
yes,
justice.
yes.
It makes you hate Kylo Ren more, right?
Yeah.
It did what it needed to do. It just was very poorly executed for the rest of the film, or for the
That's
rest of the sequel.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to give it grace. There's a lot of things I don't like about this. We got a Mary Sue. We have I guess in this film we had signs of a Mary Sue, but there was a lot of things to look forward to, like John Boyega. The turned stormtrooper joined a rebellion who is all of a sudden hinted to be force sensitive. It was
Can we
exciting stuff. There was theories coming out all the time
can we
about
also mention the fact that the trailer for The Force Awakens threw us off like really bad?
what was
Because in the trailer it showed Finn, the stormtrooper holding the lightsaber. So we're thinking, oh cool, we're gonna get this guy's a Jedi, and throughout the movie we're expecting that, but it's Rey. I'm like, dude, that's kind of disappointing.
But he did have his
well he
chance of
no
holding the
he
light.
fought Kylo.
Yeah, but he's not one with he doesn't have the Force, is what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, cool, we're gonna get another jet, like another Black Jedi. Straight up. We're gonna get another Mace Windu.
We were all rooting for old John Boyega, but they dropped again. Two directors not on the same page whatsoever. Dropped the ball. How do you drop the ball with Star Wars?
The casting, 100%, and the I think the casting and the lack of communication, 100%. They just want to do what they want to do. Anyways,
I would argue this in C, but I understand if it's lower because of just I feel like there was a lot of things in this film that fell off too.
The only thing that just doesn't get to me in The Force Awakens is that Rey holds up the lightsaber and got the past of Anakin Skywalker. Luke picked it up and never got a flashback of his father.
oh, he threw the lightsaber. He's like,
No, that was the next film. That was the
that
next
was
film.
the next film. I forgot.
No, but I was talking about when Ben gave.
But
him the
how
lightsaber
awesome
and he
was
didn't get
that?
the feeling of his father.
Think back to when we were in theaters. Luke pulling down his hood, the hermit on this deserted island.
Oh yeah, at the very end.
I
yeah.
was hyped.
I was amazed.
Oh, 100%.
I was ready to see what happened next until I saw what happened next.
Floop.
Can I go back in time, please?
So
I wanted to
I
have the
personally give it
authentic-
a C, but that's some grace. That's giving it a lot of grace, because I think if the original image stuck, it could have been better than what we got.
Seeing The Force Awakens just makes me just want to watch A New Hope again, than rather seeing that. If I had to choose between those two,
I would
like
So where we slotting this thing?
I already put it up here at C.
It's at C, huh?
We put it at a respectable C. Like it's
The
like
lowest C we can give.
absolutely.
it was, a new
let me
Star Wars.
let me put a C minus.
It was a new Star Wars.
I really feel
we were
like
enjoying it. Star Wars
now
was
that I'm
coming
looking
back.
at it. Hold on, now that I'm looking at it, we really have it next to The New Hope. I still think I'd rather watch A New Hope than The Force Awakens.
Well, yeah, you can have your favorites on C tier,
But Star Wars was
I'm
coming
sticking.
back.
I might swap it to D just because I don't like it in that lineup of what it's next to.
I put it to.
Well,
L.
we wanted it at a very low C, so might as well just
We'll
round
do
down and give it a D.
Let's put a little line on there.
Just do a D. Let's keep it D tier because I just.
When I was in school, they would do this to me when I deserved a C minus. So like, I'm gonna round down.
I mean, wouldn't you guys rather watch A New Hope than The
Oh,
Force
100%.
Awakens?
Yeah.
I'd rather
Yeah.
watch A New Hope 1,000 times before I've seen this film.
And that's the thing is, I rather really not watch The New Hope, but I just.
if I had an option between them, I'd always 100% of the time pick A New Hope.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think it's settled there. What's next?
We have The Last Jedi.
Okay. I'm ready when you guys are.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
What's below the throw up?
Yeah.
This was the worst.
On fire.
This was
So
It's-
throw up means it should have never been made at all.
Yeah, put it there.
Oh, thank
All right.
goodness. I was gonna
Yeah, I mean, what's below that? The Acolyte? I mean, this is where everything took a turn and Star Wars was ruined forever, right?
Absolutely.
yes.
This is where you had a director who focused more on cinematics than storytelling, and
Yep.
it showed. It showed really well. Well, really terribly well. Um, I mean,
Horrible.
the opening scene, everybody gassing up Luke, so
All these
excited to
theories
have him
coming
back.
out about Luke, all these things, just to be
Tufts
disappointed of him just throwing his lightsaber. Just like, I don't
throws
want
his
this.
father's lightsaber.
Drinking titty milk.
Right?
Wait, that was that his lightsaber or Vader's?
That was
right?
his lightsaber.
It was his. But it looked to be Anakin's.
Well, wasn't it originally
Because
Anakin's?
Ben Kenobi gave Luke his father's lightsaber.
Okay,
Which
yeah, I'm
technically
stupid. I'm
it's
stupid.
still Anakin's, but
Anakin lost that lightsaber in Cloud City, and he got a new lightsaber, but that's still his fault. That's still
Yeah.
Anakin's lightsaber.
So
'Cause they
yes,
found it later on.
well then let's just then really here's the big thing about this movie that really, I mean, just the way they treated Luke was terrible. You had him drinking cow milk straight from the udder. You had him, the man who forgave his father. You know, his father, the guy who blew up Alderaan, killed younglings. The man who forgave his father of all these heinous crimes, to then decide to go kill his nephew in his sleep because he was having nightmares. Are you kidding me?
God,
yeah.
his father's rubbing off on him.
It's just
His father, like, he literally put his father in a bonfire on Endor.
Because that was the tradition of killing
And you
Jedi.
think you want him to remember
Or
him
to-
while
to-
he's dead?
It's just well,
It just
originally you would be amazed on, like, I was expecting Luke to be like really happy that he had his father's lightsaber back, because he lost that lightsaber in Cloud City.
Yeah.
He was never seen that lightsaber was never seen
and it
again.
was never explained how they retrieved it.
Exactly. And it's like, dude, like, you would think you'd be like, this is my father's lightsaber and my father died in my hands. I want my father's stuff. And he just tossed it.
Like a disrespect.
It was awful. And didn't Luke die in this one?
No, that's the next one.
That's the next one. Well, no, he didn't. Isn't this the one where he fought Kylo Ren across the galaxy or whatever?
Yeah.
At the end of the movie.
All right.
Hello.
Yeah.
This is that. I mean, that was a pretty cool moment. Until like I realized.
Wait, are you talking about making a shadow of himself?
Yeah.
No, that's the last movie.
I really don't want to curse in the Star Wars.
Don't
lore.
worry, I got it.
He didn't want to. He didn't fight Kylo in this one.
No.
Are we sure?
No, he died.
No,
in the
this
very
was
last
all
one.
about training Rey. That's the whole thing.
Training Rey.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the whole purpose of this movie. Was supposedly training Rey, but she never got trained. And then it was, I don't remember. See, that's how bad this is. I don't remember what happens. But I know in the last movie, it's like I know exactly what happens, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
No, yeah. This is the same movie where he fought Kylo in the snow.
Yeah.
It's the same movie.
In the snow? No, that's not.
No, that's the very first one. That's the Force Awakens. This
No.
one,
No, Luke wasn't in the Force Awakens.
Luke, look it up. You got your computer. Look it up. I'm looking at it right now. Luke fought Kylo in the snow here as that
You're
Force
talking about
ghost.
that salt planet.
Yeah, the Salt Planet.
That's in the very last movie.
Maybe it's not. Nope, he's right.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, guys! It's like I know what I'm
What
talking about.
happened in the very last movie?
Right.
Palpatine returned, you idiot!
That's right.
Force.
Dude, why do I just want to get that out of my head. Anyways,
You're right. My bad.
This
So-
is the worst thing that ever. I mean, finally, you get to see Luke in action after being
yeah,
like
now I remember.
PTSD Kenobi in the Kenobi series. It was
So you can
awful.
do this.
And then turns out he's just a ghost, and he's kind of just fiddling with himself across the galaxy, and then dies, doesn't he? He dies at the end of this.
Yeah.
It was it's a disgrace to Luke Skywalker. It was a disgrace to Star Wars.
It was a very much a disgrace. Yeah.
This was a fumble. Aesthetically
huge-
pleasing, yeah, maybe. Who cares? Fumble. You had a golden ticket in Luke Skywalker, and you blew it.
Facts.
All I want to do is just show appreciation to Star Wars fans.
So I'm ready to move on. This thing's the first thing that's ever
All right.
terrible.
All right. So the rise of Palpatine. Because I don't want to say the other one.
The Rise of Palpatine. I'm ready when you
Yeah.
are.
We're gonna rank this in 3, 2, 1.
F.
You don't want it down here?
This is again grace given only because I think that there was a path that the director saw in episode 7, and Ryan Johnson absolutely obliterated that path in episode 8. And I think after they killed Snoke and they had no bad guys, they had to somehow figure out a way to get the story back on track. And it seems like they just pulled something out of a hat and tried making it work, and it failed. But I will give credit where credit is due. Like, I don't really know what else you do
I'll give
after
Grace as well.
episode 8.
All right. I guess I'll show it just a little
I'll
remorse.
give a little grace as well.
I don't think it's as bad as that. I mean, Luke died in episode 8, right? I mean, how?
That's fair.
Traitor.
You got an evil Ray in that one, I think. I don't remember.
Where Ray almost turned to the dark side.
I can't recall this movie. I do know that like
You
She
had
she killed
you had-
Palpatine by doing a double-bleded lightsaber when Palpatine, and then
No.
Palpatine started shocking himself.
I really want to bring this down to a throat because they introduced a force power that should have never existed.
Oh,
Force
is this
healing?
force healing?
Force transfer, where Rey transferred her lightsaber to Kylo, who was apart from him. She just thought of it, and then it disappeared out of her hand and into Kylo's.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dude, that is not a force power. That is not.
Or the fact that like Daddy Palpatine somehow managed to get
that
enough
is literally what they say in the
funds
movie.
and
It literally
men
posed
to.
like somehow Palpatine returned.
Well, yeah, but it was like he somehow got enough funding, and men to build all those star planet destroying ships. He didn't only have one Death Star; he had 1,000 of them in a cruiser, and still fumbled the bag.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What is Palpatine doing?
All
He
the
had
good
no
guys
reason being here. It was terrible. This was, and then this is also the film that introduced the 1 in a million maneuver. What was it? The Hold'em maneuver, where they go into light speed and destroy a ship.
Oh,
yeah.
It's 1 in a million, and then proceeds to do it to 1,000 separate ships at the same fucking time.
Or,
1 in a million, and
Leia.
you did it 1,000 out of the 1,000 times. Are you kidding me?
My only favorite part about the show is that Leia goes up to Poe and smacks him, saying, "You're demoted."
Was
That was
this
my favorite
episode?
part
I
of it.
thought Leia died.
Goodness. Ugh.
Did you see the blooper intake of that? That thing was funny.
All right, so now that we're off of these guys, I really hated that force power, man. That was the dumbest thing.
I hated force healing.
I
was
also
a
hated
bad-
the
it was a
ending
bad-
where
If force healing was a thing,
she was mentored by who was Leia Organa. Leia Organa continuously only one thing that Luke did, and she's like, "I'm Rey Skywalker."
oh, you cussed.
Yeah,
You
I know.
cussed.
I know. I don't like saying it.
No, I just never liked force healing. It doesn't make any sense because if all the Jedi were trained to do that, then Obi-Wan would have revived Qui-Gon.
He was still a Padawan.
Padawans can still learn.
That's facts. Anyways, yeah, that's something that I didn't. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So
we will just
let's
keep
get
it
off
there.
of these and let's go to the shows, shall we?
Sounds
Finally,
great.
Some
So
actual good
let's go
ones
ahead and
here.
start with the Mandalorian. So we're gonna go ahead and is everyone ready to rate this one?
Yep.
Yes.
3, 2, 1.
B.
C.
A.
I give it a B.
We're talking about all the seasons together.
I know, but I'm just gonna act like the third one doesn't exist. The first 2 seasons, oh my god, I was hooked. I remember,
fair.
like, I
Yeah.
was done with Star Wars. I had no ambition to
So
watch
can
Star Wars.
can
Listen
we
to this.
meet?
Listen to
No.
this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had no ambition to watch Star Wars, and then all of a sudden, my brother Caleb was like, "Dude, The Mandalorian's kind of good. Have you not watched it yet?" So I watched it and sat in a room for 2 days straight, watching all of Mandalorian season 1 and 2, and thought it was just so encapturing. It was such a great series. I loved The Mandalorian. It felt fresh. It felt new. It felt like Star Wars. And then season 3 happened. I'm just gonna forget Moff Gideon ever came back.
Yeah.
And it just never happened. And Jack Black and Lizzo, we'll forget about season 3. And that's why I'm giving it. If season 3 didn't exist, I'm giving it an S. I'm giving it A
Yeah.
because of because of season 3.
That's
I
fair.
loved The
I think I get
Mandalorian. I binged watched
I,
this
I,
thing. I
I,
thought it was fantastic. When Luke came back at the end of season 1, I was like, oh my God, the things they can do with CGI from here on out. I was so excited. They have still fumbled to this day, but I was so excited. I could not believe it. I spent all night looking
Yeah.
up what was going on and what people were talking about this series. I was watching Dad's reactions to Luke coming back, a prime young Luke.
Absolutely.
Oh, it was so great. I loved The Mandalorian seasons 1 and season 2, and that's all that exists on this show. It's an A tier for sure in my mind.
All right. So John's also changing his to A tier. So
I chose B first.
I was really struggling with the season 3. That was the main reason.
Let's not forget the legendary the IG droid.
Season
Smacking
3
those dudes-
season
dudes
3
up.
alone is an F tier, but just due to how much I really loved seasons 1 and 2, I'm giving it A. And just
That's
forgetting about season 3.
That's fair.
Oh yeah.
That's
I loved The Mandalorian. It kind of it rejuvenated me into watching Star Wars again. Just for me to still be disappointed to this day.
That's fair. Alrighty. So we're gonna go to the Book of Boba Fett, which is a.
You struggled at that one a little
I'm
bit.
trying to think of the word.
Caleb's favorite bounty hunter.
My favorite bounty hunter. Yes, absolutely. No, my favorite bounty hunter is Embo.
Game. No, Embo?
Embo's
Yeah,
my
it was
favorite.
Embo.
A branch off of this season is the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
y'all ready to read
this
this
is the man season 4.
Alrighty, y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
A.
D.
A? A?
You guys chose D?
Explain A. I won't say anything. Explain A.
And
I-
do
No,
not
Caleb, shut
take
up.
Tamir
Just let him
Morrison with
explain
the
A.
dad.
No, I'm saying that you get to see Boba what he did in the Sarlacc pit.
That's the only good
And-
thing about the show.
The thing
No,
is that
stop it. What
was-
else is good about this show?
what's good about the show is that he rules Jabba's palace and that he cares about people. and that he said that he will be the rightful
But
ruler.
he was a bounty hunter, John.
Was keyword was a bounty hunter.
And then he said in the Mandalorian, I'm just making my way through the galaxy like my father before me, like living peacefully through the galaxy.
Pretty
And
much.
yet he starts wars
Well,
with
and
like
not only-
freaking with what, drug lords and stuff.
Yeah. The thing is that he proved himself. Like he kept himself to keep going.
I'll say he would have done just fine if he was just in the Mandalorian, but his own thing, not really hyped about it. It wasn't even good.
It's 2 against 1. So, the D wins.
well, no, I feel like we gotta bump it up now because John picked A.
Well, no,
No.
We gotta
it-
meet in the middle, right? This goes at C.
Because I would want.
This would go at C.
What the heck are you doing? Put it down there.
No, look. Here's the thing about the Book of Boba Fett. You took a character who was a silent killer,
Mhm.
worked directly under Vader, and
just become
gave
piece
him a
of
spin-off
protester.
show. He climbs out the Sarlacc pit, and all of a sudden, this man is Buddhist, and he decides to. He turn. Oh my God!
He wants it to go down.
We
the
all
deep-
remember the Vespa speed chase, right?
Dude, that was the one thing that drugged this so down.
Nothing.
Dude,
and
they
oh,
tried
yeah.
to pretend they were
and
going
they
so
killed Cad
fast.
Bane. They killed Cad Bane in here.
That's true.
That part I did not like.
I didn't like.
You
the fact
had
that-
Boba Fett, the man who, and John, John, he said he just started to rule Jabba's palace. Boba Fett ruling with an iron fist. Started to listen to some side characters about what to do about the place he is supposedly ruling.
They introduced Boba Fett, or no, they introduced Cad Bane, and then the next episode they killed him.
Yeah. Okay, I can see it going down the deep here.
I remember being like so gassed when that happened.
I
we were
really
like,
just
"Oh my
didn't want
God,
to remember that. But
is
you
that
guys
Cad
brought it
Bane?
back
Are they
up.
about to have like a showdown?" And he died immediately. It
Yeah,
was terrible.
and we
to me-
saw those 2 huts that we never saw again.
But to be frank, like if I was to like
Points.
delete everything I knew about Boba Fett and how excited I was for like Boba Fett, I can see where John's coming from. I can see like this is a guy who was a bounty hunter turncoat. And he's just trying to live a peaceful life and for the people. But I
Like,
think he was too out of character for this guy, and not what the show should have been about.
like he was just near death, and he's just like,
He was
I'm tired.
He went from not talking so much to talking way too much too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
in the originals, didn't talk at all.
Yep.
Made him such a badass. But then in this one, he just talked way too much, and I could see why he kept his mouth shut.
Like a panther. That meme never gets old.
We can leave this at C, but I think John, you're delusional for thinking it's an A tier.
You think I'm?
All right, so
Yeah.
now we're gonna branch off.
Look at the
from,
rise of Palpatine right there.
This is another branch off from the Mandalorian, the Ahsoka series.
This is where we got to see the
Yeah, I'm ready to rank this immediately.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, D.
F.
D.
F.
Did you say B?
Yeah. I did it because of the Clone Wars.
I'm only saying D because of Grace, because they did show young Ahsoka in the Clone Wars, and that's the only reason why I'm giving it just the
Yeah, I
slightest
mean,
bit of Grace.
Nostalgia base here, but like, if I'm being
I only did it
honest
just
with
because of
you,
the Clone Wars because I would watch that over and over and over again.
I was watching this.
Sabine being a Force user kind of made me pissed off.
Here's the thing. Here's
Sabine
the
was
thing.
a Force user.
Like, I
They
can
put her that way.
I can speak
Oh,
about
heck
like
no.
a very like average opinion on this. I feel like I'm not. I've been kind of out of Star Wars recently, and I decided, you know what, because we're going to be branching off, trying to do more forms of content. We're going to be talking about Star Wars. I was like, I should probably get my Star Wars game up. I need to watch some more Star Wars. I watched Sabine get stabbed in the stomach like Qui-Gon Jinn and started walking the next day. And I turned it
They're
off.
nerfing
Watching the
lightsabers.
show. I watched the highlights of Anakin coming back to Clone Wars and all the
Yeah.
flashbacks. They were really cool. They were great moments.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Rex in live action. It was great. The thing is that's a lot of nostalgia based content. The whole show as a premise sucked. The best part about this show was Balin.
Who?
Balin,
That was the old guy, right?
the white, the white old dude Sith,
Yeah.
who
okay.
used to be a Jedi, right?
Yep.
He was fantastic. Rest in peace. The actor has passed away.
Yes.
But
Literally at the end of filming too.
At the end of filming.
He was amazing. His story was great. I just couldn't get behind the rest of the other shows. Sabine was the most boring and it's the Ahsoka show, not the Sabine show. What the hell
That's
happened?
literally what I was gonna say. And John didn't even know she was gonna become she was a Force user.
I didn't know that.
Well, John just quit watching. That's what it sounds like. We all quit watching. This show
I
to me is an
I
F tier.
finished it. I forced myself to finish it.
So how is this an A
That's why you
tier,
have to go through
John?
that
How
torture.
is this an A tier? I mean,
John said
this
B.
I said B tier.
oh B.
Yeah, I'm not giving it. I'm not giving it an A.
I'm
or
not
an
getting
F.
nostalgia bait. If I wanted to see the Clone Wars, I'm going to Clone Wars, man. That was.
I only said D because of the nostalgia base, purely because of the Clone Wars. Because I've always wanted to see Clone Wars in live action.
I
And the
fell
fact that we
asleep
got to see
watching
Hayden
this. This thing was
Christensen in the
terrible.
Clone Wars uniform, I'm agreeing with you. It's completely terrible, but that's the only. I'm giving slight
But the
grace like
thing
it did certain
I
things.
do like too is that Thrawn was also in live action with a bunch of
Zombies.
night troopers.
Is that the Kenobi series on this?
No.
Yeah.
Kenobi, yeah.
Okay.
But no, Thrawn came back. Everyone was thrilled to see Thrawn in live action. The actual
and
actor that
Ezra
acted him
coming
too.
back.
I
It's
never
like
really cared
Disney
for it.
can't keep suspense, and it's like when someone disappears, you know they're coming back. You just don't know when.
Yeah.
Like you know for a fact
no
they're coming
surprise.
back.
We all wish Disney made Phantom Menace so Qui-Gon could still be around.
Disney, where were you then?
This
No,
this does not
there's
deserve higher than a D.
because you get to see like Clone Wars, Night Troopers, Thrawn, all that cool suspense you get to see, and plus the Night Troopers came back as like what I really wanted to see from Death.
You know what else you could see, John? You could search that thing up on Google and see it. I don't care about seeing it if you don't treat it right and do it right. It was not. I did not care for this show whatsoever. They did nothing for character development. They named it Ahsoka when it was not the Ahsoka show.
Is it me? Is it just me, or does it not feel like Ahsoka anymore?
It never did.
The immaturity that like you would expect that Anakin rubbed off on her, that she would still have. She's like super like friggin'.
She is
mature.
super wise. Yeah, she's super wise.
I'm like,
super
dude, that's
mature.
not the Ahsoka I know.
I'm like-
Like she would take risks, but this was
That's-
like no. I'm like,
fantastic opinion. I don't think Ahsoka is Ahsoka. Like especially like Mandalorian, the way she talks to Mando, who's carrying Grogu. It's like, oh, this is the Jedi way. He has to go with. I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? You left the order.
exactly.
It's like, and Luke isn't trying to reinstate the Jedi Order. He's trying to he's trying to rebrand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't like
Disney
Ahsoka.
Disneyfy it.
I don't like Disney's Ahsoka. I don't like her. She's not the Clone Wars Ahsoka that we all were used to. She's too different. Whatever made her grow up, made her grow up.
Well, now that you brought me up to speed on that one, now I do agree.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
When I really thought back on it just a few minutes ago about Ahsoka not really being Ahsoka, I'm like, no.
Yeah, you see, I was never thrilled of just looking like not catching up to that thing, like not catching up to those, as a like really watching it, paying attention, be like, oh wow, this is not what I was expecting. So,
But yeah, and Caleb, I mean, you make a fantastic point. It's like, I mean, Ahsoka can grow up and get mature, but her master is Anakin Skywalker.
The most immature guy ever. Like
that guy's not following the
make
rule
rash
book.
decisions, but that doesn't mean Ahsoka can't.
Yeah.
That guy's not following no rule book, and Ahsoka is a rule follower in this show.
Maybe she was Obi-Wan's Padawan.
Where's Ahsoka? Following one of your teachings. Is she winning? For now. Now I see where that's coming from. My bad, Nathan. My bad.
I feel like if
Are we
you had
keeping
this
it in
Ahsoka
F?
in the Clone Wars, literally, like she would be the one correcting Anakin all the time instead of Obi-Wan. Like, oh, this isn't part of the rules. You're breaking all the rules, all this stuff. She didn't care. As long as the job got done, she would do anything.
Yeah.
She, like, in the Clone Wars, if she was this Ahsoka, she wouldn't even take on Grievous.
Yeah.
Like there's no spark of it, like adventure in this Ahsoka. It's like it died out with Disney,
Very true.
like when Disney took over. Anyways, we're gonna skip this one and we're gonna go straight to the Kenobi series.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready to vote?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. C.
C.
D.
To be fair, I'm only saying that because I got to see Qui-Gon again.
What?
That's what's stopping it. Like
The only
forget
reason
the Leia
this
stuff.
show, the only reason this show is not standing next to the Rise of Palpatine is because it's Hayden and Ewan McGregor. You had a little Princess Leia and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan somehow met before the New Hope. You had assassins who couldn't catch Leia. You had a PTSD Obi-Wan who didn't even know the Force for half the show,
Yeah.
who is supposed to be the protector of Luke. What's he gonna do if someone comes there and kills Luke? Obi-Wan ain't
He killed
nothing.
Maul.
And oh my god.
And plus,
And then you finally get like what you're trying to give fanfare to Ewan versus Hayden. In the moment you get that amazing, like, oh my god, we're at least gonna get the greatest duel we've ever seen in our life. It cuts every 5 seconds to Reva.
Yep.
It's like
yeah.
I whatever. I don't care about Reva. She somehow again survived a blast that Qui-Gon couldn't. Same with the Inquisitor, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of them just somehow just walk off lightsabers. Who cares? Vader can't walk through flames after he forced the flames away like 2 minutes prior. This was a shell of what it should have been.
Yes.
This was great because we are huge prequel fans. We love Anakin. We love Obi-Wan. Seeing those two on screen will save a show any day of the week. But how you had both of them on screen and still fumbled the bag blows my mind.
Yeah.
Very true.
This is not a good show. This is not a good show. And somehow Obi-Wan beat Vader and proceeded to let him live.
I wouldn't say
That's
beat.
facts. Yeah.
What do you mean? He buried him in Rebel, broke his helmet, and Vader was like a strike away from death.
Well, yeah, I couldn't really count.
Mind
it
you, this is supposed to be
Jedi
Darth.
way.
This is
He
supposed
must
to be.
live.
This is supposed to be Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan, who doesn't know how to use the Force, and Darth Vader
It just
lost.
went back to his past. Like, he thought about it, and then he's like, oh, well, then my friend is truly dead. Like, then he would have continued the fight to avenge Anakin. But no, he just walked away. So,
That's the thing. That's the thing. You sit there and realize, you're like, oh, my friend is truly dead. So I'm going to walk away and let this psychopath of a killer go roam free. If you acknowledge that he's no longer your friend and he is dead to you.
You literally seen him snap civilians' necks.
Yeah.
Walking down just
Yep.
which was badass. But then again, it's like,
This show is absolutely terrible. I'm giving it D because Ewan and Hayden are in it, and they were fantastic. They were fantastic for what they were given. Leia, I hated Leia. I don't even know how that fits like in canon at all.
so you said F.
I said F. This is
Me and John are
well,
saying
no,
D.
I said D
No, he said D.
because Ewan and
We moved
Hayden
this
are in the
to-
show.
Oh, I said C.
You said C. I said C.
Oh, I meant to say D. Sorry.
But Nathan chose D. But then he gave a good example why it should be in D.
Yeah, well, let's keep it at D.
Yeah. All right. And then we have the
John,
Acolyte.
I just want to hear where you want to rank this.
Rank what?
The Acolyte.
All right, John. Go ahead and tell us where you gotta rank it.
Oh, that's totally S tier. No, I'm just kidding. He goes, bleh. It should have never been invented.
Bleh. I totally
It
agree.
is. The
lightsaber-
only thing that was good was the choreography. That was the only thing
choreography
good
was great, but the story was just what? Like, there's nothing that catches me at all. I watched the first episode. There was just nothing to it. It was just like a random stranger that just wanted to kill a Jedi. Jedi basically, deflects everything. There's just nothing. I really don't know. Whenever I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, this is totally gonna be bogus. It's gonna be like, no."
Before we got to Disney, we are all like C and higher. That was pretty much what it was. But then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 films and series. That
Hey,
are,
I'm not letting the Acolyte go away without catching any strays for me. Leslie Headland needs to never touch Star Wars ever again. I remember people saying that they were watching the interviews beforehand, and it seems like she has a good knowledge of the lore. No, she is terrible. This is what happened. The Acolyte is prime example of what happens when you have no checks and balances. She was the director, the producer, and the writer for this show solely. It was awful. It was her own little fever dream. It's like she was telling us her diary and on film. It's the choreography I watched back, and it was like it's fantastic. I like the part where like I can't even remember their names, Kamir or whatever, has like he's holding his blade up with this one little girl, and then drops his blade out and stabs her through the chest like 3 or 4 times. That was sick.
Oh yeah.
But then it was followed up with somehow like I don't even understand like who was who, but I think May, who grew up with all those Jedi that Kamir just murdered, all of a sudden wakes up the next day and is like, "I love you. Have my children." What are we
Everything has to
doing?
be a love story.
Nothing outbeats Leia and
And-
Han.
And then the gall, the
Mhm.
absolute gall to put Plagueis and Yoda in this show. The lore that it broke with Keanu Monday, who cared? Plagueis and Yoda were in this show.
Yeah.
1,000
I only
years of
watched the first
peace for
episode.
nothing.
Wasn't there a whip lightsaber?
There was a whip lip.
They
a
put
whip
it in the
lightsaber.
trailer and everyone was so excited, and then they used it to cut down a couple branches, and that was it.
That was it?
The
Yeah,
The-
I'm-
The whip lightsaber is in Legends, and they brought it there. But honestly, I don't even see the Jedi approving that. I don't know why. Like, I know why, because the Jedi don't use those tactics.
And if I wanted to see like a whip lightsaber, I wanted to see that in action like all the time.
Yeah, you would absolutely. But
who
Canonically-
cares? Who cares about the whip lightsaber? The lightsaber. Sorry.
you might as well just call it a machete. 'Cause
The
I
best
don't think
actor in this damn show didn't even speak English, and he died.
First episode.
They killed this man, and you killed my mother, you bastard. It's like that lady turned into a monster, a ghoul, and was making you disappear. Yeah. And then so he took action, stopped the witch in her tracks, the mom, and she gaslights the hell out of him.
Yeah.
I was gonna let her go. Are you kidding me? This writing was awful. This show was awful. The storytelling, I can't get behind the Acolyte whatsoever. I get the choreography was cool. Go watch a fan film if you're looking for choreography. This is terrible. It needs to be
Yeah.
out of the hands
Yes.
of whoever's creating Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. Leslie Headland, I don't know. I thought the word was that season 2 was not gonna happen, but I'm hearing that there's rumors of season 2 actually happening for the Acolyte.
I'm pretty sure there's a season 2 of Kenobi happening too, isn't there?
They should
I
have
don't think so.
let the first one just
I
go.
think I seen a thing about Kenobi season 2 coming out.
No, I haven't seen anything like that.
I haven't seen anything about it either.
The future of Star Wars is scary. I hope the Mandalorian movie
Okay, no,
is
it's not
good.
confirmed. Okay, I must have seen something.
Thank God.
Let's see.
That throw up. I mean, there's the throw up film. I think.
The 3 films that should never exist.
Below it
100%.
should be the Acolyte ranking instead of throw up. It's just terrible. The Acolyte was awful. Not even its amazing choreography will save it from that bottom tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts.
That's just crazy.
Oh, and this list looks really nice because I mean the majority of the films are C higher, which is nice. But then again, when you look down, D and lower, it's like, what is this?
Yeah, I mean the best. I mean, just looking at this list, the best thing Disney has released is The Mandalorian.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also the Clone Wars at season 5 was canceled, and then when Disney took over, they finished the final 2 seasons.
I'm not counting Disney. I think there is already a path at Lucasfilms of how they wanted the Clone Wars to finish, and they just greenlighted of them finishing it.
Well, they were. I'm trying to.
I don't care. If it was released under Disney or not, that was not created by Disney.
That's
It was
facts.
created by Lucasfilm, by
Disney created everything in the throw up tier, and everything in F tier, and everything in D tier. It's terrible. Yeah. It's been awful. I do have, I mean, how the Book of Boba Fett's C tier blows my mind. But I mean, what's there to look? What is the path forward here? What is there to get excited about with Star Wars?
Waiting to see if they can create a good one.
Canceling all 3 of those 7, 8, and 9 and just rebranding it.
Bring back.
Well, they're trying to make a Rey movie, aren't they?
They're trying to make a what?
A Rey movie right now?
Yeah, that was in the Star Wars celebration. They're talking about Rey building the Jedi Order.
What they should have done with Luke.
Exactly.
The power of one. Have you got? I think I don't know if I sent it to you guys, but have you guys seen that? Like Darth Vader talking to Luke, and he's like, "You don't know the power of one, the power of two, the power of many." It's like Darth Vader saying that to Luke, and Luke's like, "No." It's so good. I'll have to find it and send it to you guys.
The power of one, the
Absolutely.
power of two, the power of many. No,
that was our tier list. I mean, there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows, but we can say for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, episode 3, S tier, not even a question. The Clone Wars is an S tier, not even a question.
100%.
Yes.
The only thing really that Disney has released that is above a C tier
Is
is the Mandalorian.
It's the man.
Tales of the
Is that really
Jedi.
the only thing that's above C tier?
Well, Tales of the Jedi was a B tier. We did like Tales of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, you only had Dave Filoni directing it. You had Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau doing that, and it was just a piggyback of stuff that's already existed.
Yes.
The majority of their problems was when they tried going on their own path. Like you had Ahsoka, that was after all the movies. You have the sequels. You have Kenobi, that's after all the after the third movie is what I mean. Well, after all the movies take place, yeah. After all the movies. And then the only movie that like really sucked that wasn't or show was The Acolyte, and that was a prequel, and that sucked. And the Tales of the Sith. Like what is that?
Thank you for recapturing the entire list there, Caleb.
You're welcome.
That was a grueling I mean, honestly, it just makes I think back to those days where you told me to watch The Mandalorian, and it was so great. I was so happy. I was so rejuvenated for Star Wars. I remember getting so excited for the Kenobi show. Like, you have Hayden and Ewan. I mean, there's no way you mess that up.
Right.
You get the top actors in Star Wars to ever like be on screen, and you fumble it 100%.
You have all that power in your hands to make it better. Nope, you threw it out the window like Windu.
Unlimited power. Disney threw Star Wars out the window.
Oh, man.
Unlimited money.
And after when like when Nathan's like, none of those should be created, I can see Palpatine going, ah.
And I will say
Like,
there were some shows that weren't on the list either. I mean, you got the Rogue One that wasn't on there. You got Solo. You got Andor.
I can't believe I forgot
Andor.
I personally can't. I can't even speak on any of them because I haven't seen them.
Me and Caleb, we have
I completely forgot about those, honestly, and that says a lot. So that's got to be dear. The only one that's actually good out of those would be probably Solo, and I'd probably put that at a B.
And in the community, I think that's a hot take.
Yeah.
I think it's a hot take. I think there's some people who like in Rogue One. My favorite part about Rogue One, and I haven't watched it, I've just seen clips, is the way they treated Vader in that was awesome. Just menacing and scary.
Rogue One, everyone considers that one an S tier.
No way, really?
They do, 100%.
Rogue One.
I don't know. Good movie. It is a really good movie.
I won't question you on it. I'm just gonna say that those were some shows that were missed. That, I mean, we didn't rank them. It is what it is. I like the shows that we ranked because I honestly I have opinion on most of them. So I think the list is pretty. I think the list is pretty good. I do think that there were some things. Can you bring that list back up?
Yeah. I
think there were some things that were just I do not totally agree with. Like, why is the Phantom Menace an A tier? Book of Boba Fett is not a C tier. Yeah, I think other than that, we all share pretty much. We do share a lot of the same opinions on these movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing the list back up.
Absolutely.
All right, fellas. What is our next topic? We got done with our tier list.
So now everyone knows what our opinions are and what we're going to be more based on, essentially.
Yeah.
We're going to be mainly based around is just good films.
We're prequel fanatics.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But here's the thing that can be said about all this, okay? Star Wars would have died in 2000 12, 13, it would have died. Disney buying Star Wars has kept the series alive.
100%.
Has it been good? No, but that I always hold out hope and be excited for anything Star Wars.
As a fan, I just feel obligated to watch it, even though it's not going to be good. I just feel obligated to do so.
I would say the same, but obviously there's a lot of films I haven't watched yet.
You'll get to them. You'll get to them.
Me watching them
I'll
was
get
just
to them.
feel like
I'm still optimistic. I still think there's ways to bring this back. I do think new leadership may need to be in place. I mean, we have been on a downward spiral. I mean, since season 1 and season 2 of Mandalorian is when your last big hit was. That's like, this is Star Wars we're talking about. This is one of the biggest IPs in the world, and it's crushed. Absolutely crushed.
it just breaks my heart how us as kids watching this and enjoying these shows up to now watching this.
At least I was alive during the George Lucas era.
Yes.
Before he sold it.
We got to witness it. Oh my goodness. It was it was just it just makes me just want to go back to my childhood and just have that amazing feeling again. Especially during the Clone Wars when it first got introduced, and then we all just literally just sat around just watching the shows like Friday by Friday, because that's the only day like it was released with new episodes.
Yeah. When the Clone Wars would come out, we would go into your room and we'd just watch.
Yeah,
that's something that really bonded us.
It was amazing. It was wonderful. We even got to laugh at a few things, and we had to experience what the clones were. Even though I never really fell into the clones until I got older. I'm just like, wow.
You could still repeat a lot of the CT numbers. I eventually want to have like a clone trooper CT number test for John over here. Just so just say the CT number and John has to guess the right clone, or say the clone's name and he has to get the right CT number. I'm not sure which one to be harder for you because you know pretty much everything.
I'm gonna piss off a lot of clone fans.
That's so funny. Okay, guys. Now, when it comes to how to proceed here, there's no real good way to do movie opinions without the tier list. So we got those checked off of our list. There's a couple other topics we can talk about. We can go into this week in Star Wars and talk about what's kind of going on in Star Wars this week, or we can move into kind of trying to debate and theorize and on some other topics. We can stay. I feel like we should probably just move towards that, just because the slander towards Disney will always be there. It's really hard not to. It's one of our favorite IPs. Currently, just not going the way we want it to. And I feel like if we go into this week, it's going to be more polarizing. It is what it is. Star Wars is in a state that is, it can be redeemed, but it's going to take time. It's going to take some molding. So I'm down to change topics here and go into kind of theories and or debates for a bit.
Absolutely. We're straight up.
Theory.
Yep.
Who's got a theory?
Me. I was talking about that Jar Jar thing at one point.
Tell us about this Jar Jar theory.
Well, honestly, with how clumsy he is, everyone assumes he's using that. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a monk form of fighting. I think it's like drunk stance or something, where they walk around with purpose.
The drunken fist.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. and they would make their attacks seem like accidents, but I honestly don't think that's what that is. Yeah. I think Jar Jar just doesn't know he's a Force user, because what started that theory in my head was I was reading through a Plagueis book, and what I noticed is he was noticing some things when he was talking to people. They would sway either one way that Like anything he was talking about, they would sway into his way, and then he would say something bad about that, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah. He wasn't realizing he was using the Force. It took his parents to tell him you have special abilities." Now, what I'm thinking is, I don't think Jar Jar had parents to tell him you have special abilities. So Jar Jar goes around and gets into all this kind of mischief because he'll have like, you know how clumsy he is, yeah? And so what if he's like forced persuading them, like when he's trying to do stuff and it gets him in trouble, and that's why people like when he walks into the underground city or the underwater city, and they all walk away from him because they know if they talk to him, they're going to get into some mischief. Because I mean, if he was really, because everyone talks about him being a Sith, but if he was really a Sith, why would the leader arrest him if they know what he's capable of? If he's a Sith and they know he's harmful, they wouldn't just have him arrested.
Yeah.
They would freak out constantly. And why would they make him a war general? Sure, force persuasion, whatever. But he only force persuaded the general. He didn't force persuade everyone else. He could have. I just feel like he does things on like he's just a very clumsy guy with the Force, and he just doesn't realize he has it.
I see.
And he acts like everything. Like if you remember in the Clone Wars, I think in the first season.
Here's the thing I like about this theory is just like how much I go from hating Jar Jar in episode 1 to him all of a sudden being a senator and speaking on behalf of the Senate and kind of pulling some strings. So it's like, this is not the Jar Jar that was in episode 1. What the hell happened? And I think his story progression is very cool to see. It just makes you think, like, how could an idiot get this far?
By force persuading without realizing
Misa.
You saw in big doo-doo this time.
No, I honestly am a huge fan of that theory. I honestly like that more, like better than like the Phantom Menace theory, where he's the one really pulling the strings.
And I feel like that Palpatine,
because then we get the book. And he's just a loser who dies
I mean,
in the streets.
If he was a Sith, this is one of my thoughts about it. You know how he does that big jump into the water? Why would a Sith expose themselves? Risking exposing themselves, jumping really high, potentially using the Force. I don't think a Sith would do that.
I think you're spot on.
I just feel like he thinks it's natural for him. He grew up with that thinking it's normal. So like he's special a little bit, sure, but he does things and he thinks they're normal.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone talking about like, you know, how he's in the background moving his lips and stuff. Everyone has opinions. Maybe he might be speaking under his tongue and it might be swaying decisions by accident, not realizing what he's doing.
Oh.
And it would make sense that the droids don't trust him because he's constantly using the Force without realizing it.
Yeah.
And the droids sense that. And they're like, I don't have a good feeling about this.
Hi, Kitty.
Oh, hi, Kitty.
Hello, everybody. Say hi to Autumn.
Do you got any theories about Star Wars? Meow meow.
Theories, girl. Oh.
She's like, oh heck yeah, I do.
All right, she's gone.
She's like, no, wait, I got more theories.
But that's a theory that would constantly blow my mind because of the way he acts. I don't think a Sith would try standing out that much. Sure, you can make yourself seem like an idiot, but you wouldn't want to try standing out.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the Force still guides, even an idiot. That's what guided him to Qui-Gon. Is the Force still guided him, but he was an idiot. He didn't know what was going on. And he's so like he's easily trusting. Like he just trusts Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, just constantly going around like an imbecile, but he's using the Force constantly. So it's like, okay. Just going through life, becoming like someone that almost got banished from his water city to becoming a senator and then fumbling the bag. And in the Clone Wars, like I was mentioning, do you remember when he was trying to distract the who was it, the Viceroy, and them from transferring stuff to Christophsis? He was balancing plates like crazy, like it's natural to him. But I have a feeling he was using the Force to kind of balance everything and make it look. He thinks it's just natural to him.
I totally agree with this. I think you're spot on. I mean, I like this just because. Look, I like this much more. It's not anything like mischievous or something behind the scenes, something more sinister going on with Jar Jar. No, it's just the guy's a klutz, and he somehow is using the Force without him noticing.
He also uses Beast Tame. If you remember that big caterpillar that he was scared of, but then befriended and started riding it.
Yeah.
George Lucas, get into chat. Come confirm this right now.
To correct you on one thing, they weren't sending stuff to Coruscant. They were
I said Christophsis.
Not Christophsis. They were sending
stuff to Ryloth. That's right.
Because Captain Keeley and the Jedi were leading those guys out.
Nerd.
While they were.
Yeah, what a nerd this guy is. I mean, it's not like we spent the last two and a half.
Sorry, I had a Jar Jar moment.
Talking about Star Wars.
Get down, MJJ!
Fellas.
What?
It's been a long-standing conversation between us.
Yeah.
About a very sensitive topic.
Mm-hmm.
And this one I hold dear to my heart. We got to talk about the man, the myth, the coward, General Grievous.
No.
General Grievous, a quadruple wielding cyborg that one of my good friends described as a battle droid who's good with lightsabers. Sucks. To the point where I would make the argument that General Grievous would lose in a one-on-one fight with a B1 battle droid. Initial thoughts.
So how did you come to this? How did you come to this conclusion?
Well, I know what you're thinking. You're like, this guy's an idiot. There's live footage, canon footage of General Grievous smacking the absolute dog crap out of B1 battle droids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's what you don't think about. General Grievous, as arrogant and cocky as he is, how did he die?
A blaster to the heart?
A blaster to the heart. And by chance, do you know what kind of blaster that was?
It was a B1 battle droid blaster that Kenobi used.
So is it safe to say that the B1 battle droid would just shoot Grievous in the heart due to his sheer arrogance and cowardice and lose the fight one-on-one? That's my stance.
I have a counter to that.
No way. You have a counter to Grievous?
Didn't Grievous lose?
You think Grievous can beat a B1 battle droid? Are you insane? Do you hear yourself right now?
Didn't Grievous lose most his hands to a lightsaber from Obi-Wan before he got shot with a blaster?
How many lightsabers is he twirling before he's on his way to kill Obi-Wan?
4.
Exactly. Who cares about his
hands?
And he
loses 4 to Obi-Wan.
He was still wielding lightsabers as he got shot.
Yeah, I'm saying that Obi-Wan shot him after he didn't have any lightsabers.
Yeah. What's the point?
Do you think a B1 battle droid would shoot off all 4 of his hands and then shoot him in the chest?
If it's a commando droid,
I think the B1 battle droid, who is notoriously not known for accuracy, just needs to get one shot. I mean, he's not force sensitive.
Kind of like Order 66, but on
Look, he's not force sensitive.
Order 99.
The B1 battle droid just needs a shot to his heart. And I think due to his sheer arrogance and cowardice, that the B1 battle droid would sneak a shot on the Grievous and kill him. It's how he died. He was arrogant and didn't think that Obi-Wan could shoot.
Didn't Obi-Wan open up his chest though?
A B1 could easily do that.
That's fair. I mean, now we're getting into semantics.
Hey, you're talking about my guys. Come on.
That armor is not strong enough
If,
to
like,
repel a
Grievous was
blaster bolt.
sleeping, they could be like,
No. Well, that just opened up his heart to be visible. I think even if that rib cage was still closed and you shot there, it would kill his heart.
But what if he's made of Beskar?
Well, then
He's
the droid
not.
is screwed.
But what if he was?
But he's not.
Where's the proof? I guess his hands.
Internet.
I guess his hands being cut off
Internet,
would prove
Wikipedia.
that he's not Beskar.
No, it's Wikipedia.
I just don't see any valid argument of how Grievous can handle the sheer wrath of a B1 battle droid.
You see him just freaking knock him all over the place. I'm pretty sure he's like.
I'm just gonna take my side with Nathan.
But the B1 battle droid took the hit.
So many B1 battle droids.
It wasn't there to fight. It
knocked
wasn't
down.
there to fight. It was there to take orders. And Grievous just slapped the fool. That's it. They weren't
So
fighting.
you're saying droids would be more effective on Grievous than clones?
Ooh. I think you need to give the B1 some credit.
Because if that's the case,
Grievous would
clones are killing.
look. Listen here, buddy. Grievous would focus up more on clone troopers because they're better shots for sure. I'm just saying Grievous's guard would be down, just due to he just thinks he's the better robot, and then get absolutely fried by a B1 battle droid.
I think it would be like maybe 50 B1s surrounding him, just blasting all at once.
No, 1-on-1, just one droid.
Yes, one on.
It doesn't even need its legs.
It's a crawler battle droid. Yeah.
All it takes is a blaster bolt.
Yeah.
One blaster bolt.
Oh
Boom.
my
Now
God.
just picture this: Obi-Wan's face with a B1 battle droid's head on it. There you go. That's all you need to picture.
You can see the B1. You can picture the B1 as Obi-Wan right now. But there's the problem. A droid can't aim. But he can.
Yeah, but
use the
Grievous ain't
targeting
force
sensor.
sensitive. It's not like he's gonna see it coming anyways.
Facts.
Why do you think Grievous, with all the gall in the world, started walking towards Obi-Wan with that kind of concentration? Obi-Wan had that thing pointed at him, honed in on his heart, and Grievous is still like, nah, you'll miss.
There's another coward in Star Wars, and I want your opinion on who would win.
Okay.
So you have the coughing coward, which is General Grievous, but you also have someone who can't fight his own battles, General Crow. Who do you think would win that fight?
You serious?
General Krell or Grievous?
I mean, on one hand, they're both cowards.
No, they have 4.
On the other hand, they're
Krell is a
Krell
mess.
has the Force.
Krell was a master manipulator.
You really think you can manipulate General Grievous?
It's possible. Grievous has got a brain, right? He was organic, right? A small brain can literally get mind tricked.
I wouldn't exactly. I don't know. I don't know if I would call Krell like a coward. That man bodied and was talking crap up until he was executed. That man had no shame. He was like, "Yeah, of course I made you guys kill each other. What did you think this was? A game? We're at war." I don't think there was any cowardice in General Krell.
Yeah.
Now, do I think he could beat Grievous? I have no idea. I've never even thought about that one. To me, I feel like they're kind of the same person.
It's treason then.
Look at the aura around Krell, though.
That's fair. This man's confident.
If I am going to give the winner, it would have to be Krell.
I'm not
He's
smoking.
force
I'm not
sensitive.
smoking that pack. Grievous
force
mops the
sensitive.
floor of Krell. Krell doesn't stand a chance against Grievous.
Well, I could see it.
Grievous has assassinated how many Jedi? I mean, I don't know. I don't see Krell as like a top tier
Back
Jedi.
in
I
his
mean,
prime.
who'd he
I
beat?
consider Krell-
That
I
guy,
consider
all he
Krell,
fought were freaking
Back in his
clones.
prime, he was very good. Back
All
in Grievous'
Krell
prime.
fought were clones, man.
And that's all that Grievous has fought. Well, besides Jedi. Yeah, you're right.
He only
Besides
killed
Jedi.
multiple Jedi without the
Yeah.
Force, dude. Doesn't
Yeah, that's
even
fair.
need it.
No.
And it's probably safe to say he probably would have beat Obi-Wan if Obi-Wan didn't land near a blaster.
That's fair.
And I ain't saying Krell's beating Obi-Wan.
Oh, goodness.
Hell no.
That's true. But then you have the versatility of Grievous, though. I know you say Krell, but I mean,
I
yeah, the
think
versatility of
Grievous has that killer instinct, whereas Krell is more of a I just want to watch chaos unfold.
Krell is the representation of
That's
Grievous.
fair.
4 arms versus 4 arms.
Yeah. I don't think this one's close. I think Grievous mops the floor of Krell, although John disagrees with me.
I do. You don't want to do that.
I'm totally doing it.
All right.
got-
You
fun.
go ahead.
Just gotta find.
I can't wait to see Nathan's reaction to this one.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding.
Are we talking like episode 1 Maul versus episode 3 Dooku?
Yeah,
I've been looking forward to this.
Dooku beat Obi-Wan.
yeah, but Darth Maul beat Qui-Gon's master, or
Obi-Wan's master.
Obi-Wan's master.
That's fine. Who killed Maul?
Obi-Wan, but he didn't die.
Who cut Maul in half and won the fight?
That's fair.
Who
Obi-Wan.
beat the snot out of Obi-Wan?
Dude,
This isn't even a question.
Well, then
How
again,
poo-poo
Darth Maul
would
beat the
absolutely
snot
just-
out of Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, this was shown in the Clone Wars. And Maul had his brother.
It's fair.
And Dooku gave him a butt whooping. This isn't even close. Get these guys off my screen. This is disrespectful.
You know what? How about
Don't disrespect Count Dooku like that.
I told you
Elegant fighting style.
I
Come
told
on.
you don't want to do that, but you managed
crazy?
to do it anyway. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's hilarious.
Count Dooku still wins. That handsome devil.
I've
I've been looking forward to this.
been looking forward to this. My powers have doubled since the last time I met Dooku. Good. Twice the pride, double the fall. How about Mace Windu versus Anakin Skywalker?
Which are we talking? Just episode 3?
I'm talking more like
How about
more Clone Wars.
How about
Clone Wars Anakin versus Revenge of the Sith Windu?
fellas, that we save the rest for next?
already?
Actually, I'm
It's been
fine with that.
we got 2.5
Let's
hours
get that
on
on
the
my screen.
first stream. Yeah, get this on my screen, man. Just
Thank
you.
God.
It's been 2.5 hours, so we spent a lot of really good time talking about our tier lists on those movies, and I think it was good to get those out. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, everyone will know where we lie.
yeah, this is just what we think about the current shows and how we think about them, and
Yes.
I think this is a good way to start.
Absolutely.
A good first start. Well, this is a good way for us to kind of grasp how these will go, how long they can take, and what we're going to talk about, and just be better prepared for more podcasts. The episode, I think, episode 4 was a success. I think this was very
Absolutely.
fun to do. And there's more to come from this. I got quite a few things I can bring up and talk about.
Right now,
Absolutely.
we're in the New Hope era. We'll get way better there. From Futures. I cannot wait for our episode 3 one.
Yeah, our episode 3 is going to be the best one to come out. And then we're going to stop and wait to be bought out by Disney, and then they'll screw it up.
Attack of Moviesar. Revenge of Moviesar.
So who's the Phantom Menace here? I think it's... Yeah, I'd probably agree. I don't know. You tried putting Book of Boba Fett at tier A.
Hey, I pulled a Jar Jar, okay?
Yeah. But then Caleb likes Phantom Menace, so I mean, no.
I love
You guys are
Phantom Menace.
weird.
I like it too, but
It's okay.
I did say S tier at first, but then I moved it to A, so
Fair.
Any
All right,
closing
cool.
remarks, fellas?
Well, there's definitely going to be more to come.
Yeah, we're going to try to aim for Saturdays around 8 p.m. It's not the best time to stream, because we are West Coast, so the East Coast, by the time we turn on, it's 11 p.m. for them. But it's conflicting schedules here. We don't have the best schedules to make this happen. You got 3 different guys trying to do this, but this was fun to get a good start and get it out here.
Absolutely.
mm-hmm.
But
then
yeah, we just wanted to get out our opinions on the film, so where we lie and where our content's mainly going to be focused.
Yeah. And this is just honestly, just a good excuse to hang out as brothers,
Oh,
and talk crap about Star Wars, talk about something we grew up and loved, and just bond over that alone.
Listen, you.
B1 Battle Droid will beat General Grievous.
Yeah.
If I had a replica of a droid gun, that would have been so perfect.
I kind of do, but it's just like this big.
Don't need to know what your size is.
All right, boys. This was fun. Episode 1's concluded. This is a late run, but it was a fun one.
Absolutely.
Find
All
out
right.
next time at MovizssStudios.
Absolutely. We'll be back here on Saturday, 8 p.m. Feel free to tune in Pacific Standard Time.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, we're closing out.
Take care, guys. May the force be with you. Now this is fun.
Yeah.